We will also be recording this on our YouTube channel as well. So this will also be on our YouTube channel as well. I'm going to say thank everybody that's coming out to the space. For those coming into the space, go ahead and please tweet out the space. Tweet it out to your followers. We will be starting here in just a second. We want to get it started a little bit. 8:30 was the time. We're going to go ahead and get it started a little bit early, just with the technical issues that we sometimes have on Twitter. So I had to reconnect one time already. So like I say, thank you to everybody that's in the spot tonight. Definitely appreciate it. Helen, Anchored, DC. Like I said, we will be tweeting out the space. I've already tweeted out the space. So anybody that wants to tweet it out, go ahead and tweet it out. Friedman, how you doing? Like I said, we had 3 topical areas that I really been thinking about lately, of course, with the whole Emmett Till situation and them finding the warrant. You got Carolyn, Bryant, the woman that was responsible for his death. You had Brittney Griner, the WNBA star who's been over in Russia since February. And also we have educators in Texas trying to change the actual word slavery and bringing it to involuntary relocation. So we're going to be covering all those points tonight. So I want to again thank everybody that's coming into the space. Tweet it out. Let me go ahead and start getting ready. I just want to just briefly touch on this one article that Black Enterprise that they wrote. And it was curated on the Newstoter.com platform. If you guys have not been to Newstoter.com, please make sure that you check it out and you make it a staple of your sources. Newstoter is the largest aggregator of Black content today in America, and we want to thank all of you guys who support us daily, whether you go to the site, you tweet, you like. If you're not going to the site, make sure you go to the site daily. That helps with the Google Analytics. It helps us stand out, and we're trying to etch ourselves up there in the new Black media sphere. So definitely support us. We'll also be putting in the YouTube channel tonight. So you guys make sure, if you're not following us or subscribed to us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. You guys, also I'm going to put in our Facebook group. Please go ahead and subscribe or follow the Facebook group as well. So all of that information will be posted tonight in the actual Jumbotron. It's empty right now, but you know how the Jumbotron gets with us. It doesn't stay empty long. So in this article, like I said, from Black Enterprise, it's titled "Lock Her Up." Family of Emmett Till wants woman arrested after warrant is discovered 67 years later. So after 67 years later, we discovering a warrant. The family of Emmett Till wants authorities to arrest his accuser after a team searching a Mississippi courthouse basement found an unserved warrant charging the woman in Till's kidnapping. ABC News reports a warrant for the arrest of Carolyn Dunham, identified as Miss Roy Bryant, the document was found by searchers in the file folder placed in a box. According to County Clerk Ilma Stockstill, they narrowed it down between 50s and 60s and got lucky, Stockstill said, who certified the warrant as genuine. The group that discovered the warrant included members of the Emmett Till Legacy Foundation and 2 of Till's relatives, cousin Deborah Watts, the head of the foundation, and her daughter, Terry Watts. Till's relatives now want Bryant, who was married to one of the 2 white men tried and acquitted of abducting, brutally beating, and murdering the teen, serve it and charge her, Terry Watts told reporters. Dunham accused Till of making improper advances at her in a family store in Money, Mississippi. One of the teen's cousins, who was present at the time, said she whistled at the woman, which was against the state social codes for Black people. According to CBS News, evidence indicted a woman, possibly Bryant, pointed Till out to one of the 2 men who killed him. The warrant against the woman was publicized at the time, but the LaFleur County Sheriff told reporters that he didn't want to bother her because she had 2 young children to care for. Now in her 80s, Bryant resides in North Carolina and has not commented on calls for her prosecution. District Attorney Dwayne Richardson, whose office will prosecute a case, declined to comment on the warrant and cited a previous Justice Department report that said no prosecution was possible. Current LaFleur County Sheriff Ricky Banks, who was 7 when Till was killed, told reporters nothing was said about a warrant when a former district attorney investigated in 2017 after Bryant was quoted in the book saying she lied when she claimed Till whistled at her. I will see if I can get a copy of that warrant and get the DA and get their opinion on it, Banks said. If the warrant can still be served, Banks said, adding he would have to talk to law enforcement officers in the state where Bryant resides. So you can see that you got the heads to be the people in charge. They really don't want to prosecute this lady because I know one thing they're gonna say is she's old and she's this and she's that. She's 80 years of age, but you got old Nazis, 105 years old, being thrown in the slammer right now for something that happened 70 some years ago. So if they can go ahead and they can go ahead and charge these people as war criminals, you got someone that was teenagers being charged as war criminals to this day. The district attorney, Dwayne Richardson, whose office would prosecute a case, declined commenting on warrant and cited previous Judge Department report said no prosecution was possible. So, like I said, you got the district attorney sitting up here trying his best not to go ahead and prosecute this woman, even though this woman is still alive, even though they have the search warrant for this woman, letting you know that she should have been charged from day one with her lies that she made up. They got this boy brutalized, got him tortured, got him killed, got him abducted, got him kidnapped, everything else in the world that went on that she was responsible for. Then she finally got some heart, and in the book she's gonna sit up there and say, well, she made up the whole Whitney thing. Whether she made up the whole Whitney thing or not, her husband and his brother-in-law, whoever, shouldn't have killed this kid or whatever. But the fact that she did make it up and that she's responsible for his death and nothing has come to her is just, it's just kind of numbing and just crazy to say the least. Shante, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Newstoter, is it okay for me to, did you want me to come on? Did I hit the button by mistake? Can I ask you that question?
Oh, you can come on. That's what I say. You can go ahead.
All right. I feel as though it's just like a continuous history pattern that we going through in our life at this second. So forgive me if I'm being a little bit too extra. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. I'm sorry, I accidentally muted my mic, but can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you fine. Go ahead.
Okay. In my mind, well, fuck it. I'm about to say it. So you might have to delete me cursing, okay? So now within this process, I live in New Jersey. Emmett Till passed away from Chicago, going down to Mississippi, visiting his family. That young man deserved justice all the damn time, every fucking second, every minute, every year. It's something that you just can't let go. And for the same reason I say that, is because over here in New Jersey, I hear that we got new laws. Prayerfully, Cory Booker didn't fall into the trap of something that happened to us 60 years ago. So now, coming into this place, it's like, okay, it's like it's hearsay. I don't know if it's certain until I look it up and do my own research. Oh, y'all can't say anything when immigrants come up over here and kill y'all. And when we faced an accident, not even an accident, it was like an initiation. So as though some Hispanic kids went up over there in Ivy Hill and shot 4 black kids. And now you telling us we can't say nothing all over again when we couldn't say nothing when Emmett Till passed away 65 years ago. I don't want that burden on my back again. We should be beyond what's going on right now. So if we call this man our brother, he's supposed to be defending us. It's like, yeah, enough is a fuck enough. Everybody's supposed to be helping us and chipping it and don't want that. But it seems like everybody just like they putting laws more against us and saying fuck us. Who the fuck wants that? So if we say we tired of it, absolutely. Our children shouldn't have to deal with it. Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna step down for a second and you tell me how you feel. I just think that history is being repeated. And Cory Booker, you should not have anything to say something when it comes down to if you see what happened to Emmett Till, if you see what happened to Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, all our people, and now you coming up in Jersey, which he was the what was it? The mayor of Newark. They didn't even want him in Newark. but the Spanish people voted him in. And that's when he had his turn. And now you up here talking some, if you work for the city or the government or anything like that, and if y'all want to call ICE on them, it's just feel like more of restraint. No. That shit actually happened in North New Jersey, in Ivy Hill section, to where some Hispanic kids that was initiating themselves into their little Spanish gang. I don't do it. Black gangs, no gangs. I don't know nothing about a gang. It's not my business. I'm on my business. But for Cory Booker to be saying or trying to pass a fucking law through saying if you work for the government or the state and y'all have no right to say, I'm going to take your pension that I worked for 20 fucking years, or I'm going to take something from you if you speak on ICE.
Shante, let me ask you a quick question about this white lady, Carolyn Bryant, that's in her 80s, the one that was responsible for Emmett Till getting killed, and they've been telling these lies for all these years. Do you feel that she is that she's too old to go to jail, or you think they should go in and lock her up?
Lock that bitch up. Fuck her. She lied. She lied on a young man that could have had kids out here, children out here, a family out here. His mother died, and knowing that something badly happened to her son, and she kept lifting her son up over and over and over for us to allow us to know this happened to my child. His mother had strength to where as though I couldn't even have no strength like that. She put her life on line for her son. Yo, that is like the most biggest part to where as though I don't even think I could even have strength to do that. Carolyn Bryant fucked you because you lied on that woman's son. You had him murdered, mutilated, arms part, and motherfucker sat back and sat there and thought it was funny. And then after he passed away, they went every year on his gravesite and pissed on it while she was protected. Fuck her.
I didn't know that part. I didn't know they went up there and just, just disrespected his grave site like that. Like that's wild. That's crazy, man. I definitely did not know all that part there. So yeah, my thing is this here, like this lady, like I said, if she was black and she had done this and that, she definitely would have already been in jail. We got a bunch of these Nazis that walked around that was doing the Holocaust that got people killed and stuff like that. They serving time. Nobody cares how old they are, how feeble minded they are. They don't care if they overseas. If America can get their hands on you, you getting locked up straight up. You got dudes 102, 103, 104, 105 years of age. You had cats at the time that was teenagers that was guards for the Nazis and this and that. And the people say, we don't care. You took part in this Jewish Holocaust, you gonna pay. So I'm with you on that the same way. I feel like, hey, you sat up here, you told a bold-faced lie about this boy. You sat up there and you sat by your husband while he went ahead and he had a child murdered for supposedly whistling at you. Like, so hell no. Like, whatever happens to you, they should go ahead and throw her old self right up in prison right now for all of what she caused. The only positive that came out of this terrible situation was that it sparked the actual civil rights movement. It actually sparked it brought some consciousness to black people in this country that you can see that, hey, you can go ahead and you can attack a child like this right here. That means everybody's fair game. So the only somewhat positive thing that came out of the atrocity, like Emmett Till being killed, and Jet and everybody showing his actual picture on the actual cover of the magazine, so all of America could see it, was that it did mobilize black people in this country to say, hey, we got to do something. We got to stand up for ourselves. We might not all like the way the civil rights movement went, but let's at least give people credit that they went out there, they took some initiative, they wanted to try to fight for their own and whatnot. So, like I said, we might not like certain paths that the civil rights movement went in. I know a lot of us feel like, it got watered down to include any and everybody in it. But I will say the only positive thing that came out of something so horrific and such a big tragedy was the fact that it did mobilize black people throughout the South, black people up north, the Midwest, the West. So it gave you a unifying moment that you saw exactly.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you? I hear you now. You having problems with your phone? I think Shantae might be in the Matrix. But yeah, that's the only net gain that came out of that was that it sparked the civil rights movement, and like I say, something that was so tragic and horrible for everybody in the country. It actually gave them it gave us something to actually unify and come together for. Like it's a shame that it took something so horrible like that to happen, but it actually was a unifying moment. Wish we could have unified a whole nother way without a kid being butchered and killed and whatnot over some nonsense that even if he whistled, like I said, would still be ridiculous. But that's the only good thing that really came out of the this tragic death that he suffered. Helen, go ahead and unmute your mic. Also, tweet out the space, everybody.
B1 needs further. Yeah, I just want to speak on Emmett Till. So when he went into that store, the Bryant store, with his cousin, well, his cousin left. He was still in the store, but they heard him whistle. That's a lie. He wasn't whistling. I know. What he was doing. What I read was he had a condition. I was also told this by my mother. He had polio as a child. That's what he suffered from, and he still had after effects. After effects of that condition. And he would like do some. If something was up with his breathe, like he would breathe in and out, and that's hot. But he didn't whistle at Carolyn Bryant. Also read that he grabbed her and was flirting with her. That's also a lie. That's just what she alleged. And what I think through my learning about the Emmett Till over the years. I'm 25, but I was taught about him by my mother. So basically, I think Carolyn Bryant was jealous of Emmett Till because if you think about it, if you know Emmett Till, his mother had a good job, so she gave him a good life, and he was educated and well mannered, and he dressed well. So I think, and then he had that fancy ring that his father owned, that was given to him. So I think, I think that she was jealous and just a racist piece of shit. Like, and also they were poor whites. They were poor, so they depended on the black community to pay, to survive because that's what black came in there to buy items. So yeah, she was jealous and just hateful, racist, and that whole entire family is just racist. And I feel like she should be arrested and convicted for murder. Well, not causing the murder of Emmett Till, the lynching, because she lied on him. And what I've also learned is she was in the car when they because she had to say if that was him or something like to confirm. So she was actually in some other car, and when Marlon and Bryant kidnapped him in the middle of the night at his uncle's house. So I just feel like she needs to be locked up and convicted because she caused a gruesome murder of an innocent child, a black child at that. When anyone comes for our people, we gotta strike back. I don't give a fuck how many years have passed. She deserves to be punished. And I'm seeing these videos, these clips. Dee Tubman posted on her Twitter, and apparently they're looking for her in North Carolina. So I think it's Raleigh, North Carolina. That's what I think she's living in, but I'm not sure from another broadcast. But it's a lot of he say she say about like where she's at. Like nobody knows. Like
people saying she's in a nursing home. She's not in a nursing home. People saying she's still in Mississippi, but I found out I looked her up some years ago on the search where she's at. She was in Mississippi, and I saw North Carolina, because I thought she was still in Mississippi, but I saw Raleigh, and I saw a video. I don't know if it was her house, but I know she got her family living in some type of townhouse. I don't know where the bitch lives, but we need to find out. And it's a lot of white people. I feel like they are hiding her. I don't understand why they feel the need to keep doing that when they know black people how we are when it comes to our people. This shouldn't have happened in the first place. But since it did, we have to get justice for Emmett Till. And I'm really tired of racist devils and these sellout black folks saying, "Oh, she's like 80-something years old." I mean, that was in the past. Let it go. No, I mean, y'all, when stuff happens to y'all people, y'all didn't let it go. So why should we? Why are we the ones who should let things go? We're not going to do that, and we're not forgiving that devil for lying on Emmett Till. That bitch needs to be found for real. I'm tired of all of this. I've been waiting for this. I've been really waiting for this day to come. I'm only 25, but when I learned about Emmett Till, it really haunted me. Like, I'm like, this child deserves justice. So I just hope that they find where she lives. I think the people, the search party, were in some type of apartment complex. But I'm not sure if she's there, but hopefully, it works out. And yeah, they need to get around all that. But we really have to keep a lookout for this. Like, I'm closely monitoring this situation, trying to monitor. It's so much going on, you know, so much happening, and we really have to separate from these people because they, still terrorizing us, lynching us, and it's a shame. Modern day lynchings. And Emmett Till, like, I know he shouldn't have been lynched, but since it happened, that should have been the last one. Because, I mean, just look at how they dehumanized him. They beat him to death. They shot him. Like, it's just horrible. And
yeah, I feel insulted with this conversation.
Huh?
I kind of felt a little insulted with this conversation. Pretending that we don't know what the hell America was beat on, and our family went through hell and trying to fight for the years, for hundreds of years, and now we at this point. It's like,
Shantae, give her 1 second, because I'm gonna have her close out. Then we got DC, and I'm gonna have you come back up here. So give her 1 second just to let her close out, and then I'm gonna bring DC, and then I'm gonna bring you back up here. Just keep that thought that you're thinking about right now, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for going on so long, but I'm passionate about Emmett Till. So I just leave it at that. Thank you for letting me speak, and I'm just gonna leave because I have something a broadcast to moderate for soon. So be one.
No problem. Thank you for coming through. DC, go ahead and unmute your mic.
And B1 family, shout out to Helen. She spoke very well. And one thing that she mentioned about Emmett Till, that she talked about the type of black person he was. He was well educated, well spoken, well dressed. And I thought to myself, even if he was the exact opposite of those things, if he sat at the top of the totem pole of ignorance, whatever happened that day didn't justify him being mutilated in the way that he was. So this woman has to pay. And as a black community, we have to stand strong and we have to be willing to punish people. That's the only way that you're going to get respect. If people know that they can kill you, maim you, mutilate you, harm your children, because he was a child. So if you are allowed to harm the children of a community, that community gets no respect and deserves no respect, if we're being honest. So in this case, I don't care where she is. We need to hunt her down and get her in front of the authorities. Now, the authorities probably going to be on code, probably going to try to find a way to slide her out of it, but that has nothing to do with us. Our job is to seek justice at the highest level. And if the system decides to do what it's always done, then the system is going to have to answer for that. But we don't need to be soft on this stance. And unfortunately, the version of Christianity that we got in America from white people has put us in this position as a community. Because if you notice, when the children were shot in Texas, Uvalde, nobody put a camera in front of the parents and asked if they forgave. But when there was the assault in Buffalo, they couldn't wait to find a nigga that was ready to hug the reporter and talk about how we need to move forward and we need to forgive. What you looking at when somebody does that, that's cowardice coming to the surface. They don't know how to respond. They don't know what to do. So they're going to take the coward's way out and talk about forgiveness. And that's a disease that plagues our entire community. So because of that, if we're going to be a stronger community moving forward, then we're going to have to purge that. That's just going to have to go. And currently you have, like Jason Black said, two types of black people. The type of black people who plan on leaving the plantation and overturning the system and burning the plantation down on the way out, and then the kind of black people who see what's going on around them and go back to picking the cotton. So with that being said, I recently started reading This Education of the Negro. Carter G. Woodson was in his bag from the very start. And he talked about some of these niggas that we dealing with right now, like that elected senator or whatever her position is, elected official who was black, who's on a handstand twerking. We got real problems in black society when we got niggas upside down twerking. So, like Jason Black said, man, we got two types of black people. We can't try to have camaraderie with everybody, even if they're freedmen. Some of these freedmen niggas are just as bad as the white supremacists that we deal with, if we being honest. So, we're going to have to draw a line. And anybody who's on the side that Carolyn Bryant needs to go, she needs to be let off. We need to forgive. We need to pray. It needs to be off with their heads. And I'm going to land it there.
And I'm in 100% agreement with you on that. Like I say, I don't care how old she is. For the amount of damage she did, she definitely should be thrown right in the jail cell right now. The law has allowed this woman to slip and slide for years because she was a white woman. They hid behind that. They had no problem what she did. They had no problem that she was responsible for having a child executed. And I don't put it all on her, because her husband and his comrade should have been hung themselves. So I don't put it all on her. She was an instigator, true enough, as a lot of white women in this country have always been instigators and trouble starters. But they've been backed by Zaddy from day one. So I blame her for igniting the fire, but it was her husband and them that went ahead and poured gasoline on it all the way until it burned down. So to me, it's three people should have paid the price for that. They did not. And the same way they put those old Nazis in prison right now for killing Jewish people, they can treat them as war criminals and whatnot. Go ahead and find her a cell and let her spend the last bit of her few days left on earth and throw her right in there. At least she would still have a better life than what this boy had because of her. Shantae, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right. DC, I agree with you a little bit. The only thing about fuck it. Here you go. Fuck her. I don't give a damn about Carolyn. She lied on a young man for no damn reason. Because she looked at him at that time of day and age where everybody was going through. Our family fought wars. They fought everything. Not even just a war. Just for their life and being a standard. And everybody was just dumping piss on them. Burning their houses down. Going through everything. I'm kind of surprised that my fucking family still made it till this day. I don't gotta read no book about the history of my family. Me reading a book about my lineage is disrespectful to me when I hear the stories from them every time walking out the door. Shantae, you got to come up in this house at 5 o'clock at night. Like I was always on eggshells. You know you got to do this and do that at a certain time. Can't no book tell me how I walk and live my life. And then within that, me still seeing the repeated history that's going on, and everybody like read a book. Like read a book about my life? You kidding me? That's another story. I walk this, I live this, and I know what it is. I see the fear of my grandmother. I seen the fear. My grandfather, he was fearless. He didn't give a shit. My uncles and them, they didn't give a shit. Oh, when people like, you got to read up on this, like, this is my life. And this is how I got to walk in the United States of America. But now I'm at the point, been at the point since the 80s. I've been tired. And now I got children, and I got to repeat the same shit that my grandmother and them taught me. Nah, I don't want to live like that no more. My children shouldn't have to live like that no more. My nieces and nephews shouldn't have to walk around living like that no more. And I can't stand the fact that people is dumping all their hatred, knowing our history, what they read about our history, and they studied us, knowing who the fuck we were, so they could sit up there and play on. We know your fear, and we know what's what and what's with y'all. No, I'm not with none of that. Now I don't even allow my kids to walk around like that. My grandmother tried to play that shit with us. You can't go do this. You can't go do that. Grandma, I don't want to walk around in fear. Because my grandfather told me and my uncles and them told me, fuck that. So I don't walk around like that. And I damn sure not even about to put that stupid shit into my children, my nieces and nephews. I had to even break my own mother out that shit. I'm not walking around like that. Why should I have to? Who? For who? For what? I think that we are owed the same amount of respect as anyone else in this fucking world. And I'm no. It's a no. Shit, I live in Jersey. There's so many immigrants that done came the fuck up over here. These motherfuckers they look at me while I'm walking outside like I'm a foreigner in my own fucking land. And this is my fucking land. Why the fuck I gotta keep... No. And I don't. I can't. It's not who I am. It's not who I built my children to be up. Not who I fucking taught my nieces. I'm just tired of talking. A book can't tell me who I am. Or you gotta read a book about who you are. No, nigga, that's what y'all do. Y'all want to study who the fuck I am. No. I'm not running away from nothing. I'm tired.
No doubt, no doubt. DJ, I see you got your hand up. Like I said, we're gonna cover some other topics tonight too, but we always, as you know, you can come back to this same topic because we want to talk about, of course, Carolyn, Bryant. We want to talk about Brittney, Griner. We want to talk about how they're trying to change the entire meaning in the Texas education system in terms of the word slavery. They want to take that word and soften it up and say involuntary relocation. Just complete nonsense to, I guess, ease their conscience or whatever, so they little kids don't have to hear all this. So we're gonna get it in tonight. DJ, go ahead, unmute your mic.
Hey, what's going on, family? Black people, reparations up. You know what it is. I thought you were starting at 9 o'clock, Todd. I looked at the wrong message, bro. Real talk. But with that being said, hey, they just put convicted one of them, jokers over there, them Jewish Nazi guards. He like 95 years old. They just convicted him, gave the joker like 10 years or something like that, bro. So we could catch Carolyn Bryant and get her at least 10 years. Hell, you know what I mean? It's something better than nothing. That's the way I be looking at it. But pardon me, I'm in the store. Go ahead.
No doubt, man. I'm in the same mindset. Like, hey, the same way, like I say, all these older men, and they seem to give it to men more so too. Like a older woman, they don't want to stick her in prison, but they'll stick an older man in there, like I say. But had Emmett Till been a little Jewish boy that she was responsible for getting killed, she would have been in prison years ago. But because this was a little black boy that she helped get killed or whatever, she's still walking around here with her hateful self. But like I say, had Emmett Till had been white, had his last name been Cohen or something like that, she would already be serving her time and she would already be in damn prison. She would probably already died in prison by now. But for the simple fact that this was a black child, that she was responsible for getting killed like that, it just responds, and that goes to show you the mindset of the society, because the whole society went ahead and they protected these people. They sat up there, and no matter if it made their stomach turn or not, they was content with this man murdering these two men murdering a black child. So all of American society played a part in it. All of them played a hand in it. Like I say, the only and something tragic like this, the only decent thing that came out was that it did mobilize black people to get together and create a civil rights movement. But it took something as atrocious and horrific as something like this, as a child being tortured, for us really, to go ahead and just get this thing steamrolling, get this thing rolling. Is anybody in the space want to say anything before we move on to the next one of our other topics as well? DC, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, just real quick, I just want to stack on top, Toter. The question that I just got for the family in the room is like, what else are we supposed to do at this point? Like, what is our alternative outside of punishing this woman? Because the Jewish community, this is the time when we're supposed to look at how other communities move and adopt some of those tactics. The Jewish community, man, if you say, I work in the entertainment business, you can't say nothing foul about no Jews if you plan on making money in the business. It just is what it is. If you say it publicly, bro, you're going to be in all kind of shit. And the reason why is because they do not allow people who disrespect them to get away with it. Point blank, period. So with that being said, for anybody who's on the fence, I don't know why anybody would be, not in this room, but if somebody were to be, or you came across somebody who was, what is the alternative here? We let her go and we gain respect from the United States, from white society, and they talk about how we're America's conscience and all that other stupid shit. We get more of that, but we get no respect. They know they can harm our kids, maim our kids, kill our kids, and there's nothing that we do about it. So ultimately, I'm just saying, we have to draw the line in the sand. The black folks that are willing to punish white people without hesitation, we are the ones who are going to save black society. All the rest of these niggas, might as well put them on the other side with the white supremacists, and that's it.
I'm in agreement with you in terms of what you're saying. What we're gonna do? Punish them? We have to. That's a good question. I mean, the only type of punishment that we can get from this is this woman serving some jail time. Like, I don't think we should let up at all because of her age, anything like that. We need to go ahead and press and push forward the agenda, and if that means having people in that town where she's at, because I believe she's still in North Carolina for what the article said, and I'm sure they're keeping her location secret or whatever, but she's in North Carolina somewhere. She's in the South somewhere. We know that. So if it means putting pressure on the city and the town that she's at, the neighborhood or whatever, hey man, I mean, I'm all for it or whatever. But I get what you're saying with the Jewish people. We have to be real here too. Like, Jewish people can do things that black people in this country can't do. Even though we try, we just don't have the financial backing and whatnot to get away and do some of the stuff that they do. You can't sit up here and make any kind of anti-Semitic remark about Jewish people and not have to pay the piper. But you can get on TV, you can get on radio, you can get on the internet, and you can say the N-word 1,000,000 times, and nothing's gonna happen. You may get a little blowback here or there, but let's be for real, nothing's gonna happen. But you sit up there and you start saying offensive language about Jewish people and see if you don't get shut down permanently. So that's the kind of backing, that's the kind of power, that's the kind of clout. People can sit up and say what they want to, but Jewish people are what, 4-5% of the population of that in the United States? But their finances, I mean, it's top of the line. So for whenever everybody sits here and they compare our struggle to their struggle, there's one big difference here. Like, I mean, they're able to blend into mainstream society. People can say that the Jewish people are white. Okay, they're not a whole nother race. They're white people. They're white people who practice a different religion or culture, whatever, but they're still white. They may not be treated, they may not be looked at by most white people as pure Caucasian or Anglo or whatever. But when push comes to shove, even white people back up with them because they got that money and they feel like, well, hey, this ain't somebody, I mean, you're not black, you're not Asian or whatever, you're closer to us. So that's something we have to really look at and really take into account. And I think we need to go ahead and definitely push this thing with this lady the same way they did with the Nigerian that was sitting up here making threats about Clarence Thomas the other week, in the same way you saw everybody on Twitter mobilize and this and that. We see the blueprint of how to do things now, and you can use social media as a way to back you and push it. So why not mobilize? Why not keep pressure on it? This is in the media right now, so don't let it die down, because you know the next big news story, quote unquote, that mainstream America has, they're going to just push this thing and just shove it right to the back burner. So it's up to us to go ahead and keep this thing alive and keep pushing it. So if we keep pushing it, you know, it's going to have to be dealt with. But if we sit up there and we do like we normally do, we talk about it for a week or two or even a month, and then we just fall asleep at the wheel, you know, nothing's going to happen. Shantae, I see you got your hand back up.
Of course I got my hand back up, because I wanted to know if it was one thing that we always leave out of history. When, I think it was Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, it was Jewish people that was around. Jewish people was like the subjects. Honestly, like, come on, y'all. Y'all say y'all read a lot, so know the history just a little bit. I don't know everything about history, but I do know this. The Jewish people was like the bottom feeders of the white people. Whether you was Italian, Irish, whatever, the Jewish was the last on the list. The Jewish people was the sneakiest motherfuckers and always came around us. Brother Malcolm, he was like, no, I'm going to go back and go help the rest of my black people from different continents, different such and such, all black people did, and they're suffering. I think that's just my opinion, was our greatest fucking downfall. That's why the fuck we going through hell and hot water right now. Jewish people was the ones, they were selling us out. Hell yeah, they were selling us out. They was giving us crappy buildings, crappy rents, and they still doing the same shit today. Taking everything that we learned, and at that point in time, when they was talking to Malcolm and them, Malcolm and Martin Luther King, they was like, yo, we went through the same thing that y'all want to. Do y'all want to come up over here with us? Our strong people was just like, nah, because y'all went through the same shit that we going through right now. And we not about to be slaves with y'all again. Like, no, we want a distinction. We don't fuck with y'all like that. So they was like, all right, go ahead. Y'all do what the fuck y'all gonna do. And we start fighting for other people rights. All our black people in the diaspora, all our black people from it's a real fucking story. So if anybody say it's a lie, then they fucking lying. So we went back and we started sharing our benefits with them, bringing them over, and we got shit on all over again. So this is the results that you see right now. So now that we don't want to be a part of that no more, everybody looking like, why you don't want to be a part of this no more? While they being disrespectful, they don't got a leg up. Oh, y'all ain't shit. Fuck y'all. Such and such and such. And we sitting up here looking like, where the fuck we failed at? Yeah, we don't really go back to the slavery shit, but yet still being allowed to be back into the mindset of everybody else crossing us and our government crossing us and everybody shitting us on us all over again. Everybody knows our history. Yeah, we strong people, but too much trash dumped up on us. You do got to start separating yourself. You can't keep going back helping everybody in the fucking world. Jewish people did help us when Malcolm asked it. Look it up, since everybody read books. The Jewish people actually tried to give us a hand up, like, yo, we just went through this. They were shitting on us because they were sitting up there trying to get with the Italians and the white people. I think the Jewish people was the lawyers and shit, and they fought for that shit. They was the scraps. And now they the shit now. And they were with us trying to help us. And we was like, nah, we see what the fuck y'all going through with your own white people. We don't want to be that. We're going to help our own black people and help them up. And now we are, what the fuck would you call it? Disintegrating, decreasing, getting stomped on, mollywop. And now we not becoming to be shit. So I think that's where our anger and shit come from helping everybody else instead of staying focused on ourselves. Can I say that? Is it real? Yeah, it's real. It's the truth. And that's what the fuck happened.
No doubt, no doubt. Davey, I see you got your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
What's good, family? What's good, all black people? I want to offer some context to the portion about the Jews. There's a very good movie that's on YouTube called It's called House of Rothschilds. It's called House of Rothschilds. It gave me, as a foundational Black American, a whole different type of perspective on what it means to fight and in what context your enemies are fighting in. I don't really know about the portion of, them helping or trying to help or whatever the case is, but they were able to find what their leverage was in the system that they had, and also they had the whole code of being for their race. You get what I'm saying? Because they were at the bottom. The movie talks about how they were able to not only have a family that was established, but for that family to carry that on to what their race is today, for them to walk in dignity. That was all. Thank you very much for the space, man. It's a good conversation.
The Jewish people is like a part of the Democratic Party also. Y'all know that, right? I'm gonna stop talking too much.
No,
they part of they. You got a lot of them that are part of the Democrats. You got some that's even Republicans too now. So I would say they probably, on the average, I would think that they probably lean more Democrat. But you got some Jewish people that's also Republicans here too.
Yeah, they play both sides.
And that is something that I was about to say. It can seem, they play both sides. But in essence, what they did was put the solution in the middle of the problem instead of putting the solution on one side or the other, so that they were able to take advantages and lessen the disadvantages from either side. I definitely say, like, a lot of times people attack speakers, but it's not about the speaker. It's about their relative position to the situation. And then you kind of use your own discernment to see what sort of value is in it. But when you put solutions in the middle of the problem to where there's I won't say opposing, but to where there's two sides of the same coin, then that coin becomes your leverage in its whole. And that's what they did. They I don't know about them being, heavily powered when it comes to law or politics, but they started off with essentially banking system, because they knew that money was going to equate to power in the modern world. That was all.
No doubt. They definitely.
I'm sorry. The only day they take off is on Saturday. That's the day that they sleep, and then they go back to work on Sunday.
I mean, the Jewish community has a very parasitic relationship with the Black community. They've exploited Black people from the very beginning. I mean, one of the biggest blackface performers was a Lithuanian Jew. They owned the majority of the minstrel shows that were around the United States. They were involved in the slave trade, not just in the United States, but also in South America. So they've always been exploiters of Black people. So when they come around, like, hey, I want to help you. Oh, hey, I'm a lawyer. I can help fight this case for you because white America's doing you so wrong. They're white America. There's a book called How the Jews Became White. That book will help show you exactly how they were able to assimilate. And they move in and out of whiteness as it suits them. So when you accuse them of being a white supremacist, just like any other Protestant white person here, that's when they slide out of it. Well, no, I'm Lithuanian Jew. I'm an Italian Jew. I'm German Jew. I'm not white. So they'll maneuver in and out of it as it suits them. But when you look at the entertainment business, man. Look at rap music, for example. Who do you think signs all the acts? Who do you think runs the labels? They have white Jewish people who run black music departments and decide which artists get signed and which don't. So do you think it's a coincidence that they sign all of the most gutter, foul, ignorant shit that they can? That's the image that they have of black people. That's how low they think of us. They think that that's all we want. So they continue to sign those things, and they'll ignore any sort of artist that's bringing any sort of conscious thought to the table. And they continue to milk our community. If you make an album about killing niggas, they will put it out faster than you can damn near finish it. If you make an album about killing Jews, it'll never see the light of day, and you'll be blackballed from the industry. Think about that shit for a second.
I think that it would be a great idea instead of putting everybody else. No, I just thought about this like last week. So, DC, you are actually correct. Before we give our information to anyone else from now on and letting other people flourish off of who the fuck we are, because we always invent and create over and over. I think we need to get ahead of it. I don't know how to do it, but I think we need to get ahead of our own shit. Like, I swear. Like, tomorrow I could make up a new language. Tomorrow I could do something different. I think we need to start keeping everybody else out of our business. Because everybody in the world is still our shit. I don't care where they come from. They still our shit. I think we need to sit back, let everybody else fight amongst themselves. I might be wrong while we sitting up there building up again. I might be wrong, but I don't think that we should be exploiting our business like that again. I think us being on this app right now is giving them leverage on how we think right now. You understand me?
Definitely. I'm gonna go, but I want y'all to keep that because I'm gonna go to this next topic that we're talking about, and this is about the Brittney Griner situation. Those who don't know, it's a black lady that plays in the WNBA who has been in the Russia jail since February for allegedly having hemp oil on her, marijuana oil or whatever. So she got busted over there. Putin has not let her go. She's about to get sentenced. So she's reaching out. She's writing letters to Biden and everything else. And Kamala Harris trying to get them to go ahead and make some kind of deal and bring her from Russia. So we're going to cover this real quick. And like I said, we can also still go back to the Carolyn Bryant thing as well, the Emmett Till thing. So I just want to go ahead and put this out there so we have more content in the room, so that we can always go back and definitely come back to those topics as well. So you just go ahead and DJ, I see you like in the Matrix. I'm sending you the co-host thing, but let me go ahead and read this real quick. It says this was published by Black Enterprise, curator on the Newstoter.com platform. If you guys look up in the Jumbotron, you can see all the articles that we posted today on Newstoter. So that's just a sample of what we posted today here on Twitter in the Jumbotron. So if you have not had a chance, make sure you visit Newstoter Daily. We need your support. We need you. We need eyeballs on the content. It says a collective of over 1,100 black women leaders call on Biden administration to step up efforts to free Brittney Griner. A collective of nearly 1,200 intergenerational, intersectional black women leaders across the United States is calling on the Biden administration to ramp up efforts to free WNBA superstar Brittney Griner from detainment in Russia. In a letter to President Biden and Vice President Harris, the hashtag Win with Black Women Collective urged the administration to make a deal to get Brittney back home swiftly and safely to meet with her wife. While it should not matter because she is an American citizen who was wrongfully detained on foreign soil, Brittney Griner cast her first ever vote in 2020, reads a letter signed by a litany of black women leaders in business, sports, the faith community, labor, media, civil rights, education, government, tech, and entertainment. She voted for you and Vice President Kamala Harris. More than prioritizing her immediate return in word, you must do so indeed and make a deal to bring Brittney home. Among the people who signed was Coach Don Staley, Dr. Bernice King, Tina Knowles Lawson, Donna Brazil, and many others, including university coaches, multiple WNBA players. WNBA Player Association Executive Director Terry Jackson, prominent business leaders, state and local elected leaders, and NAACP New York State Chapter President Dr. Hazel N. Dukes. The letter comes as a 31-year-old Phoenix Mercury Center recently made a personal plea for freedom to President Biden in a handwritten note. Griner expressed fear that she would never return to the U.S. after being arrested on highly publicized drug charges at a Moscow airport back on February 17th. Much like in previous moments of great concern throughout nation's history, as black women who are compelled to once again set up and leverage our influence and collective power to stand united and unwavering call for this administration to do everything within its power to bring Brittney Griner home. It has been more than 134 days, far too many days for any American to be subjected to the conditions and treatment that Brittney has faced. She deserves the very best our nation has to offer, and we cannot fail her. In the days and weeks ahead, black women will continue to organize and work to ensure that Brittney gets home. The Win with Black Women hashtag letter points out that the United States government has done little to this point, despite Secretary of State Antonia Blinken's promise to her wife that this is a matter of personal priority. Griner is due back in court this week, although many believe the trial is a mere formality before she is sentenced. That in turn has prompted a national mobilization to increase efforts to free the two-time Olympic gold medalist as soon as possible. So, like I say, for those that doesn't know, she plays in the WNBA. She was caught coming out of Moscow airport, supposedly with hash oil or something. So she's been over there ever since. You got with Russia and Ukraine in the war, and with the U.S. supplying Ukraine weapons and money and everything else. You know, Putin is taking this personal, so he is sticking it to her through. He's sticking it to Biden by using her as a pretty much as a prop. So. DJ, you got your hand up?
Yeah, apologies, man. This Twitter is like really acting up, man. Hopefully y'all can hear me or whatever the case be. But just to reiterate on the Jew thing, the reason why Jews go ham when somebody mention their names is because they own everything and we own nothing. But as far as the Brittney Griner thing, you know, this is a weird situation because, you know, she got caught up when people were evacuating on that side of the globe. So obviously Putin is using her as a pawn to get and fuck over the United States. And as you see, like you said, you know, pardon me, I'm driving. As you said, that you know, America is funding Ukraine, and for what reason? No reason at all. We don't need to be funding these people. Ain't nothing but a bunch of Nazis over there. But hey, that's the Democratic Party too. So go figure. It's like they cousins and shit. The Dixiecrats and the Nazis. They definitely hate niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking fact, bro. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, these folks don't even need to be coming over here. And as far as like, you know, all of a sudden black women want to start hashtagging, you know what I mean, Brittney Griner and all this stuff. But hey, how do we know that she didn't have that in her possession? I don't think she did. I don't think she that stupid to take that shit over there like that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to look at it as, you know, on our conspiracy that she being set up right now. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, black women, if that's what it's about with y'all, because a lot of folks trying to say like, oh, well, you know, if that was LeBron or KD, well, LeBron and KD don't smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? At least to our knowledge, and I know they not dumb enough to go over there with it. You know what I'm saying? They got publicists and people for that. You know what I'm saying? But Brittney Griner, she ain't got nobody, though, to tell her this stuff. You see that? So at the end of the day, man, I really don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you, man. I think it's just a effed up situation, and I think she just caught in the loop. That's just really what it is, man. She caught in the loop. You know, she didn't get out when she was told. From what my understanding, she left late. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Look like she, and then the person that Russia want, Putin want, the person that we have captured over here to doing a prisoner swap. This joke is a straight up terrorist killer, yo. So we can't trade him for her. At the end of the day, the United States just ain't gonna do that. You know what I mean? The joke of Russia want to be freed over here from Guantanamo or whatever bait they might have him in. He's a known straight up killer, bro. You know what I mean? So I don't see how the United States gonna swap him for her. I just don't see it. I think she could have been white. It'd be the same fucking thing right now, bro. You know what I mean? Because that's what Russia want. They don't want anything else from what my understanding is. They want this one particular male prisoner that is a known, he's on every FBI radar, world, criminal organizations type stuff like that. Known dude, you know what I mean? So I feel bad for her. I feel bad for the family. At the end of the day, I don't know, man. I don't think she shouldn't have even went over to a country like Russia. You know what I mean? Not to play no basketball. Anyway, should have went somewhere else that more safer, like, France or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or regular Europe or something. Yeah, you would have still faced the same amount of racism, but at least this way you ain't gonna be held captive. You know what I'm saying? Because they are part of our NATO allyship. So they ain't gonna hold you captive because you're an American citizen. See that? So you in a country, even though I believe Russia is a part of NATO, but they don't want Ukraine being a part of NATO because they know Ukraine got a bunch of Nazis on their border, man. And we see that now. But I yield there, man.
Yeah, man. Can I tap in?
Yeah, go ahead and tap in.
Okay. I agree with DJ. But I don't know. Like, look, fuck it. I'm about to just say what I'm going to say. When it comes down to it, only thing I know is that Biden is Irish and his wife is from the Ukraine.
His wife is from the Ukraine?
Yes.
They saying Dr. Jill Biden is the Ukrainian woman.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I tried to look into it. I didn't see anything, to be honest with you, but I don't know, maybe I might have overlooked it or whatever, her race or whatever, but that's what everybody's saying, though, bro. And then, other thing is, too, I want to mention, just to go back to my particular talking points, I want everybody to take 2 seconds to get on your Google Safari and go look up the Budapest Accord. The Budapest Accord, what is it, Budapest, Budapest or whatever? Excuse me, BUDA, Budapest Accord. Look that up, y'all. They signed that agreement already years ago. So pretty much it's Ukraine is the ones that's breaking that shit, yo. At the end of the day. I yelled it.
Hey, DC, you got your hand up. You want to add to it?
Yeah, man. I mean, this right here with Brittney Griner is just an example of what Tariq talked about years ago on Back Lessons Radio, and that's a Negro wake-up call. Unfortunately, I don't think that she or her wife are hearing the alarm go off, but this is one of the biggest Negro wake-up calls I've seen for a celebrity in a long time. And the black LGBTQ community is so fucking stupid, excuse my language, but they can't seem to figure it out. You are not a part of white society. As much as you feel like this is going to give you a way to escape having to be black and deal with blackness and anti-blackness, it's not gonna help you. So in this situation, what she's become now is an opportunity for the black boule to grandstand. So here we go again with this whole black women are going to organize. Black women are going to show their power. Black women are going to do this and that. Black women are not going to do shit except for show up and ask white daddy to do something, and he's going to continue to ignore them the way that he's been ignoring them since he got elected, riding their backs into the White House. So what we're looking at now is just grandstanding by the black boule. Everybody who you name, Tina Knowles, Donna Brazile, we can go down the list. All of these people are black boule. None of them are tapped into the grassroots, and that's why none of them are going to be effective in being able to bring her home. If she was looking for real support, you would need the kind of support that George Floyd had when he was murdered. True grassroots support with true fire in their gut, ready to go hard at the powers that be to get change. If you had that kind of support or you reached out to that sector of black society, of course we would rally behind you. But the way that it feels to me, because I saw her wife make a plea/demand, and again, no demand is a demand if you don't have the ability or the willingness to punish a person for not meeting it. So she's demanding of Biden that he do something, and all he's going to do is fall back asleep. He's not going to do anything, and there's nothing you can do about it. You voted him into office, and for the next 4 years, he can literally say, fuck y'all, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, unfortunately, I don't think that she and her wife have figured it out. It seems like they still think that they're part of the elite part of black society. The LGBTQ people will protect me part of black society. So that's who they're going to. Instead of going to the grassroots and to the people who can actually help them, they're going to the establishment. And the establishment is turning their ass up at them. So it is what it is, my brother.
You made a good point there, and I agree with both you and what DJ said, because I believe that, like I said, I believe that Putin is pissed off. He's pissed off with the West. He's especially pissed off with America for what he feels that they interfered in the actual war between him and Ukraine. He feels that if America and these Western countries wasn't giving Ukraine all these supplies and money and stuff like that, he probably would already been done, conquered them and beaten them. So he's pissed off about that. Also, what you said was excellent point. Like, you have, once again, and this is, like I say, this was published by Black Enterprise, and it was curated on the Newstoter platform. You made a perfect point when we say 1,100 Black women leaders call on it. Like, it's totally, once again you got the Black Girl Magic Coalition, and they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna tell a dictator, probably the third most powerful president in the world, about what he's going to do in his country. He's at war. He's already pissed off with America. They're going to sit up here and they're going to tell Putin and this is what you're going to do and this and that. And we're going to use Biden and this and that. Like, unless it was somebody, and then I kind of disagree with DJ on this point. If it was LeBron James or it was somebody like Kevin Durant, but it probably had to be LeBron James, somebody who's like the face of the NBA. Then you would have white owners ponying up money. You would have all these major endorsements and this and that. They would cut some kind of back alley deal probably to go ahead and get him from over there. But like you said, the fact that you're sitting up here and you got all of the Black women mobilized, and that's another thing. Now y'all mobilize, and I want the young lady to come back home. Don't get me wrong. I want her to come back home, but the fact that y'all can mobilize for something like this here, this topic here, but then any other time you can't mobilize around any other important issue. I don't see all these Black women mobilizing really for the benefit of their community. But yeah, because it's become a major issue, because it's become an international issue, because she's a woman and whatnot, they're mobilizing. But any other time when the Black race needs y'all to mobilize and come together and put your heads together and try to find a solution for all of us, you don't ever hear any of these names that I mentioned, like you said, DC. None of these names are boule. None of these names come together, and none of these names offer anything suggestion that could help us as a people. But now they're coming together, and you're going to sit up here, and like you say, what are you going to tell Biden? Biden, if anything, Biden's going to see how he can finesse this into a big win for him. So come election time, he can sit here and he can go ahead and he can tell you Black women, like, well, you know, I was there for Brittney Griner. I was able to get her out of there. I was able to put Jackson on the Supreme Court. I was able to give y'all Juneteenth. And we got enough Negroes gullible enough to go ahead and eat it up. And oh yeah, well, he did do this, he did do that. When that girl was overseas, and he did get her from out of that Russian jail. He's not going to be able to get anything. Biden, I don't care if he's the president of the United States. He is not going to be able to make Putin budge unless Putin wants to budge. Trump, on the other hand, was his bosom buddy. Trump looked up to him. Trump revered him. If Trump was in office, I would say that there would be a good chance that, and that's of course if the Ukraine war wasn't taking place. Because if it was, I'm not sure Trump would be trying to supply Ukraine with all of the stuff that the U.S. has. But if he was in office, he was president, and the war wasn't going on, it would be Trump would definitely probably go ahead and get her from over there because they were bosom buddies. Trump looked up to this man like he was some kind of god or something like that. He's the same piece of crap that he is, but nonetheless, you know, birds of a feather flock together. So he would sit up there and they'd probably come to some kind of bosom buddy agreement, backdoor agreement, handshake or whatever. Like, yeah, get on out of here with this and that. But no, man, you're not going to sit up here. You're not going to tell a dictator. You're not going to tell somebody who has ignored you the whole time he's been president, only when it's time to make symbolic gestures that you got your sister girl coalition together and you're going to go ahead and you're going to fall in President Biden and do this and do that. Biden ain't studying y'all. He ain't thinking about y'all. Biden is up here each day barely remembering what the hell's going on. He's got inflation out the wazoo. His party's about to be swept in the midterms. He's going to be a one-term president. So he's not even thinking about this right here. He's going to try to save face as much as possible. He's going to tell y'all what y'all want to hear. Yeah, we're trying, we're negotiating, we're doing this, we're doing that. But at the end of the day, it's still based on what this Russian president wants to do. And like I say, he is butthurt about the military support that Ukraine is getting. Anytime somebody tells you that, hey, if y'all come over here and y'all start supplying weapons, then I'm going to open up, I'm going to start using nuclear weapons, that lets you know that this person is peeved. He is upset. He is pissed off. So right now, the best bet, and I hate that the girl's over there. She's been over there since February. I don't know if she was playing some kind of exhibition game over there in Europe and Russia or whatever. I don't know why, of all the places in the world you want to take weed to Russia. I mean, I could see if he was in the Netherlands or something like that, but I don't know why. And guys, I don't even know why she was visiting Russia for one, unless it was some kind of exhibition.
She was playing there. She was playing there.
Okay.
She was actually playing there as far as, like, you know, because of the WNBA. If you know about sports, when you pay attention to it, you know that's the one thing that women's sports are complaining about in general, not just the WNBA, that they don't get paid what LeBron or KD is getting paid. But hold up a minute, y'all not that type of superstar. I know Candace Parker fire. I think she could beat most dudes, mid to low level dudes in the NBA straight up. You know what I'm saying? She a female. She got multiple rings and championships and Olympic medals. She bad on the court. You know what I mean? But you can't beat no LeBron. You ain't gonna be better.
Not to cut you off, bro. But she can't beat even the scrubs in the NBA. I'm just being honest.
I'll put money on Candace on that.
No, that's no shot. She's still dealing with guys that's strong as hell and still athletic as hell. That's different. And you go ahead and you put the biggest scrub in the NBA, and you put him in the WNBA, and he's gonna dominate. Like,
bro, this is Candace Parker I'm talking about, bro.
I don't care. I don't care.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't care.
Male, female, masculine, feminine. Candace Parker don't beat some of the top tier dudes, man. As far as like playing around. You know what I'm saying? One on one.
If you're talking about just having a shooting contest or something like that, that's one thing. But if you actually talk about a 1-on-1, and she's got to go in, and guys are posting her up and dropping their shoulder into her chest and stuff like that. Nah, it ain't.
Bro, she like 6'5", 6'6" herself.
And there's guards in the NBA that's 6 feet tall that'll block her shot.
Yeah, I mean, more than likely, what happened with Brittney Griner was that she was there for the season and playing. And more than likely, she was doing what she was doing there and might have just forgot to empty her.
I think Candace Parker could take James Harden, to be honest with you.
Thank you, yo. Who said that? No.
That's a wild comment.
So you take him when he's about 60 years old.
James Harden at the strip club every night, so that could be true right now, no?
Yeah, like I say, I like to see. I want to see the young lady come back home, man. I can imagine you over there in a Russian jail, whatever. You can imagine how bad it's got to be over there, and you can imagine the kind of treatment she's probably receiving and stuff like that. Think about it. She wasn't a celebrity or star, and she was stuck over there in Russia. I mean, she would never come home. So I'm definitely hoping that they can do something. I like to see the young lady come home, man. I don't want to see her have to spend. Who knows? I don't want to say I have to spend no years over there in Russia. And you would think if Putin had any kind of heart, but if the man had any kind of heart, he just went up there and just started attacking his neighbors over there just for the hell of it. So you got to look at the kind of individual you're dealing with here. Putin hogs up most of the resources in this country. He's probably the richest person in Russia. So you're talking to a person that has no heart, somebody that's totally for themselves. So I'm just hoping that this girl can she can come home or whatever to a wife or whatever. You know, that's her thing. You know, she got a wife, hey. But besides that point, I like to see her come back home to her family, her friends and whatnot, and, resume her career. And I'm hoping that, hoping that something like that can happen. But the fact that, like I said, and DC made a good point that, yeah, you got all these black women. Why wouldn't you try to get some like black men also to co-sign on that? Why wouldn't you try to get black men as leaders and school teachers and all the other civil rights, community labor, media, education, government? You would think that you would have black men also co-signing for this as well. So I don't see why you would just say, well, we as black women are this and that. And this is kind of stuff the Democratic Party loves to hear anyway. They love to hear this kind of stuff here. So that's right up their alley. When they hear that the black women are taking control and this and that, once again, you don't have, where's the participation of the black men at? I mean, I don't think it could hurt. I'm sure you could have got LeBron James, and I'm sure you could have got a bunch of NBA players. and a bunch of black executives and a bunch of black people in the NAACP and a bunch. I mean, you could have had easily 1,000 black men that would have went ahead and signed this thing as well with the black women. Wouldn't that strengthen the argument for her?
But you can't see that when you're chasing an opportunity, and that's what she's become for them. They're looking at it as a way for them to grandstand and to get more camera time. So because the motivation to bring her home isn't genuine, they're not thinking about it like a genuine person would think about it. A genuine person would do exactly what you're saying right now. I need to rally every black person I can, man, woman, child, in business, education, entertainment, whatever, and then we need to rally around this to make this something significant, so the president has to stop what he's doing and pay attention to what we're saying. But no, what we're dealing with here are the black mammies that white society has placed over the top of our community on purpose to run it as a matriarchy and to run it into the ground. So these are the people who are quote unquote in leadership positions, but none of us elected them as leaders. None of them said these people are qualified to speak on behalf of freedmen, to speak on behalf of the grassroots. No, this is white media and white influence media telling you a coalition of black women leaders. Nigga, leaders, who says who? Says who? So at the end of the day, you're right. Putin's not going to budge anyway because he's just not that kind of guy. He's a man's man at the end of the day, whether you like it or not. And the reality is that the United States is waging a proxy war against Russia. If me and you, Toter, get into it and we got an issue, and then I got an issue with this other person over here, and I find out that you giving the person that I got issue with guns and food and money to fight me, then what is that? Is that not a war? Sounds like a war to me.
Yeah, it's a damn war. Like I say, and you done supplied them with billions of damn dollars. So, like I say, your boy pissed. I mean, and he gave that warning about the nuclear warheads. He didn't just say that to say that. He was letting the U.S. know that, hey, if y'all come over here and y'all put boots on the ground, we got us an issue here. We got us a problem here. And he's going to try to stick it to the U.S. And this girl here is just a bargaining chip for him to stick it to. He's going to use Brittney, unfortunately. And I feel for the sister, whatever. If she was any other place, she probably could get out of there without any issue. Remember when you had the LeVar Ball's son? I forget which one. You had both of them. They got arrested over there. They was in China, and Trump was the president or whatever, and they was able to talk behind the scenes or whatever. They got out. I mean, they got out of there without any issue. But like I say, you didn't have the kind of hatred right now that China and the U.S. had as compared to like China and Russia, and China and Russia and the U.S. Because right now, like you say, it's a proxy war.
Leandro Ball.
Yeah, it was him and one of the other brother too. It was two of them that got caught over there. Or was it just one? Maybe it was just one. I thought it was two of them. One of them stole a pair of sunglasses or something, and they had him in jail.
It was one brother and another teammate that got caught.
Okay.
They stole like some posters or something, like so like some Chinese type of signage or something from what I recall from like the hotel they were staying in. And then, that was that. And, and if you go back to listen to LeVar Ball, that's the father's name, I guess, he said Trump ain't had shit to do with getting them free. That was all him.
Well, that's what he said. He said Trump didn't do anything. I guess he's trying to say that they had already came to an agreement behind the scene with him and the Chinese government. He said that Trump basically was just trying to grandstand or whatever. So I give LeVar Ball credit to the point that, hey, he ain't buckled. He was like, he ain't do nothing. Like, he never changed his tune. So, I mean, if that's what he felt, hey, that's what he felt. So we got my man Ray up in the spot tonight. Yeah, man, like I say, I don't personally see, like I said, I personally don't see this. I hope this girl isn't over there just for 2 years, just for political theater or anything like that. I don't know what the average sentence time is in Russia for having marijuana, because that's all it was. You want to talk about oil or whatever, marijuana, oil,
hey,
hash.
bro, they're talking about a decade, dog.
A decade?
Hey, bro, you in a foreign country. We set the rules, fam. You know what I mean?
Good Lord. Like, yeah, now they're going to make an example out of this girl. I'm hoping that it don't get to that point. A decade. I'm pretty sure the Russian citizens don't get a decade either for getting caught with that either now, do they? Or is it just because she's an American, a black American at that? So,
Well, I agree with the second thing, but we ain't Russian citizens, so we'll never know that. You know what I'm saying? If they over there getting high and what's the drug laws and all this other stuff, you feel me?
Not only that, man, but Russia was one of them places. I remember some years ago they was beating the living dog out of like black tourists and stuff that came over there, black people that immigrated over there. Russia's no joke. Like all of those Eastern Bloc countries are just as racist as their Western buddies over there in Europe. Like, so
Facts.
people go over there. People go over to damn Europe and they talk about how free it is and how much better it is in America and this and that. Like, man, these are the same people that migrated over here. What are you talking about? Like, there's no damn difference between these people and the other ones. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I was just gonna definitely add on to that. I've been to Russia. I went to St. Petersburg, Russia. When I tell you that is absolutely one of the most hostile places I've ever been in my life. Because I've been all over. I've been to Russia. I lived in Paris. Well, I'm not Paris. I lived in Italy for a couple of years. I've been to Paris. Been to Copenhagen and all these other places. But Russia was different. Like, I was on my best behavior when I was over there because I wanted to make sure I didn't get caught over there doing nothing stupid.
Yeah, I heard Russia was no joke. Like, they put I can't remember if they killed one black dude and put another in a damn coma some years ago. Like, just beating the tar out of people or whatever. Like, don't please. And you go to any of these European countries and you be seen up there with some of these white women and stuff like that. Man, it's just no telling how they might snap and just go ballistic. So you gotta cover your bases in these places. There, man, you would definitely. You stick out like a sore thumb over here, so you can imagine a place that's 90% white. How you gonna stick out? Like, no, sir.
Believe it or not, there's actually a decent amount of black people over there, but obviously they're foreigners. And it'd be, honestly, I'm there. I got on, I think I got on Jordans or something. Like, they look at you like you're crazy. Like, what are you doing here? So, like I said, the Enjo there completely different.
Oh yeah, I mean they know you. I mean it's a difference between, like you said, being in a place like maybe like Paris or being in England or whatever like that. In the Western European countries, you're gonna see more blacks than you are say in places in the Eastern Bloc like Turkey or Yugoslavia or the Czech Republic. So yeah, you're definitely gonna stick out more so over there. And even in these Western European countries, because a couple times Oprah Winfrey had to get checked and stuff too. Somebody got their mic on.
Oh, that's me, my bad.
Yeah, and even in some of these Western European countries, because Oprah went over there and she went to the jewelry shop, and they reminded Oprah too that I don't care if you got $1 billion or not, you still a negress. So your money's no good here. So they checked her over there too, even though she thought she fit in with them and she was Big Willie and whatnot, rubbing shoulders. People don't care at the end of the day, man. Leon, go ahead and unmute your mic.
That's funny that you brought up about Oprah, but yeah, that's we just had Jim Jones just went through that crying on Twitter. Hello?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah. I said we just had Jim Jones crying on Twitter about that whole incident. He wouldn't. I don't know if it was Gucci or Louis Vuitton. They wasn't kissing his ass. I was laughing. That was kind of funny though. But anyway, I want to post something on your Jumbotron if I can. It's something that I don't know if you covered it or not. I apologize if you already did. It was something. Hold on, because I can find the article, and I'll just read it off real quick. Just bear with me real quick. I'm waiting for my slow ass internet to get up to speed. It was the hell that woman's damn name. There's so much shit just went on this weekend. It actually kind of pissed me off.
You go ahead and post it up there in the Jumbotron if you want to.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it because it had what the hell's that damn the congressman from Texas, Sheila Jackson Lee. Well, Sheila Jackson Lee was a delegate member over the OSCE, which is the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Now, this is like another little get together, and they had a parliamentary assembly. They said this is the first time they had one since the pandemic, 2 years. So they never been in person for over 2 years, and this lady and let me remind you now, this parliamentary thing is for just the white Europeans. There is no African nations. There is no Asian nations. There's no South American nations or Indian nations or Middle Eastern nations involved. It's just all white Euro countries. And Canada, of course. Anyway, and Sheila Jackson Lee had a nerve during this assembly to boast about her HR 40 reparations bill that she's trying to. It just baffles me that she had the nerve to go over there to all these white people and talk about this HR 40. I don't know what kind of support she was planning on getting, but of course, this is her legacy that she's standing on right now. That we all know eventually it is going to fail because we damn know well Jim Crow is not going to sign no executive order. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm telling you that right now. He ain't desperate enough to sign it. I don't think he's going to sign it, to be honest with you. The motherfucker got so much bad dementia going on, he can't even put the goddamn CMH on the damn dude's neck properly. But this is what I'm posting up Jumbotron, and I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate the time, Toter, man. Definitely. That land.
No doubt. I appreciate it. Like I say, you guys make sure you check this out in the Jumbotron. I know we got quite a bit of stuff up there, but go ahead and definitely check that out. We got quite a bit of stuff. We try to go ahead and push all of the news in there, just so you guys can see how hard we be at work and what we're doing and whatnot. So definitely keep supporting the platform. That's all I can say. And I forgot, if you guys have not, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. I will go ahead and add that to the Jumbotron as well. Is there anybody else that want to add something before I go to our final story? Like I said, we can always go back. So far, we've covered Carolyn Bryant and her racism that led to the death of Emmett Till and how she should be punished to this day, and she is not. They got that warrant. They need to go ahead and serve her and go ahead and throw her in jail for the rest of her remaining wretched life. We also talked just now. We just finished up talking about Brittney Griner. We can also go back to that. The last story I want to just touch on just shortly, just a quick read, is about the Texas educators out there in Texas. They're trying everything they can to go ahead and take the word slavery and I guess just create a whole nother alternate universe with it. I mean, I guess they're afraid that if you tell little white kids what actually happened in this country, that they're just going to puff and disappear or something. But for whatever reason now, they got in their mind that they want to go ahead and take slavery and retitle it and say that it was involuntary relocation. So just want to cover bases on that. This was by the USA Today published. It was curated by one of our partners, the Neo Jim Crow, and it is curated on the Newstoter.com platform. If you guys have not been to Newstoter.com, I need you guys to go visit us daily. Everybody that's in this space that's following Newstoter, just go to the website once a day for a minute. Just spend a minute. I guarantee you can find something on there that you consider newsworthy, something on there that you would consider reading that you think would be enlightening or helpful. So just go ahead and support us daily. It says Texas educators propose referring to slavery as involuntary relocation in public schools. This was in Austin, Texas. Public schools in Texas would describe slavery to second graders as involuntary relocation under new social studies standards proposed to the state's education board. A group of 9 educators submitted the idea to the State Board of Education as part of Texas' efforts to develop new social studies curriculum, according to the Texas Tribune. The once-a-decade process updates what children learn in the state's nearly 8,900 public schools. The board is considering curriculum changes 1 year after Texas passed a law to eliminate topics from schools that make students feel discomfort. Board member Aisha Davis, a Democrat who represents Dallas and Fort Worth, raised concerns during a June 15th meeting that the term wasn't a fair representation of the slave trade. The board sent the draft back for revision, urging the educator group to carefully examine the language used to describe events. I can't say what their intention was, but that's not going to be acceptable, Davis told the Texas Tribune on Thursday. Parts of the proposed draft standards obtained by the Texas Tribune say students should compare journeys to America, including voluntary Irish immigration and involuntary relocation of African people during colonial times. Texas' public education system has become heavily politicized in recent years, with lawmakers passing legislation to dictate how racist slavery should be taught in schools, and conservative groups pouring large amounts of money into school board races. Texas drew attention for a similar situation in 2015 when a student noticed wording in a textbook that referred to slaves who were brought to America as workers. The book's publisher apologized and promised to increase the number of textbooks. So, like I said, once again, Texas is on some different stuff. Like, this is always a state that's always talking about running like cows and succeeding from the union or whatever, whenever they can't get their way, whenever they can't get their redneck agenda put forth in front of the people. Now you're going to sit up here. You already said back in 2015 that you talk about slaves were workers. Now you're sitting up here talking about, well, the Irish, how the Irish came to this country as compared to how black people came and whatnot. That the Irish voluntary immigration as compared to involuntary relocation. Just complete nonsense, complete word salad, as they say. Like, just utter garbage. Like, what are we talking about here? And the fact that you had a handful of white people sat up here and felt like this was a good way to keep their kids from really hearing the truth is just, it's beyond words. I can't even describe it, but it's Texas, so nothing that comes out of Texas really surprises me at all. Like I said, this is the same state. Every few years, when they can't get their way, they sit up here and they cry about succeeding from the union and starting their own country. And I'm like, well, damn, if y'all that serious about it, then go ahead and succeed. Let's see how far you go before Mexico themselves go ahead and reclaim you and take you back. So, I mean, this is just, and this is part of that whole critical race theory type stuff that these people have been pushing out there. And what's his name in Texas? The senator that runs his mouth, Ted Cruz, all the time. This seems like something that he would completely back and completely push to the masses.
Hey, you see Texas Governor Abbott, where he doing though with them immigrants that come across the border. He told Joe Biden, you better either give me some help, give me some extra money so I could do the hiring myself. Biden, okay, you ain't budging. I don't want you. All right, everybody, let's get on the bus, y'all. We're going to take a trip to D.C. and he dropping the migrants off in D.C., bro. Real shit.
Oh, he taking the migrant workers and he's shipping them off to D.C.?
Yes, sir. You know what I mean? Real talk. He won't buy. Hey, either you give me some help on the border, you know what I mean, or you give me some more money so I can hire people or whatever, enact the National Guard, whatever it is you got to do. Do something, you know what I mean? Okay, you think I'm playing? Check this out. Everybody, come on, we're taking a road trip, you know what I'm saying? Let's go, see the nation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Biden look at them as future Democrat voters, so he's all happy with it. He may not be happy if you just dropping them all off in one city or whatever, but that joke is definitely happy that he's got them here because he consider that his replacement people there. Leon, go ahead. You got your hand up.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Newstoter, and thank you for sharing that with us about Texas. Fucking Texas. I can't never live there. But anyway, Texas, because I was just listening to another show while a couple weeks ago they were talking about this. If not, I think they have 2 book companies. Now, these are the 2 largest book companies in the country, and they print out all the textbooks throughout the whole United States. So, that being said, the bullshit they're doing is going to be a backspin narrative. They're going to try to get these publishers to print these books, and every public school in this country is going to have those same books with that whitewashed narrative. So, yes, I would say this is very problematic.
Yeah, just a simple fact, man, that I can imagine that your kids coming home from school and they coming up with these new terms talking about involuntary relocation and whatnot, and you thinking that they supposed to be learning actual American history, and it's complete BS that they learn, and it's just this is an insult, like definitely on on Black culture, on history itself being taught. Forget Black history, but history itself being taught. This is a complete attack on it. The fact that, like I say, that and you could actually get these people to draw up something like this and send it up there and talk about voting on it and passing it and just force feeding it to kids. And the bad thing about it is all these white people that grew up learning about actual slavery in this country. They might not have knew every incident of what happened, but surely nobody sat up there and told them that that slavery was just, it was just they weren't really slaves. They were just workers. They were helpers almost. Like, I mean, what on earth are you talking about, man? This is just completely nonsense. Like I say, it's something that we as Black people don't hold these people responsible to either, because whatever the NAACP and the Urban League out there in these areas, they should already be down there at these schools telling these people this is not about to happen. This is not about to go down. DC, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, Toter, man, this is kind of what I was talking about when I said we need to adopt those strategies from other communities. I know full well that we are not the Jewish community. I mean, hell, they were given an entire country that belonged to somebody else on top of money. But this is one of those situations that would be zero tolerance for them. If you tried to reteach the Holocaust in any sort of way whatsoever, I believe if they didn't have a penny to their name, they would come out and fight you on it. That's how much they stand on it. And we have to do the same thing. When you go around here in LA, there's like a specific section of LA, like around Mid-City, where there's a lot of Hasidic Jews. And they have their own schools there. And their schools are protected by armed guards. And not all those guards are even Jewish, but they have them outside with guns because that's how seriously they take the education of their kids and protecting their kids. And we got to take ours the same way. Unfortunately, we in a situation right now where it's hard to kind of tell where we're going, man, because we starting to see that what older people said about rap and hip hop and what it was going to do to our community, they were kind of right about that. So when we look around now, we see a lot of ratchet behavior, and we starting to see the ratchets having children. So now we're seeing the offspring of the ratchets who really have no hope because they're being raised by people who are really unfit to have kids in the first place. And then on top of it, they're being allowed to be educated by the system without any backstop at home. So even if you have to take your kids to public school, which a lot of us are going to have to do, there has to be a time when they come home, and I don't care how popular or unpopular it is in the household. You turn everything off in there and you sit them down and quiz them and educate them about what our history is. I don't care what them people telling you about gender roles and fluidity and trans this and that. We ain't having that in this household. But the problem is you can't really have that kind of energy without a man around. And now our community's in a position where they spent so much time driving the men away and out and empowering the women and teaching them that it was right for them and it was proper for them to be over the men, a la our Black Girl Magic Coalition, that it's hard to figure out how we're going to regain control of the car without doing what I said earlier, which is drawing that line. Like the Black people who are about, we're going to educate our own, we're going to stand up to all of this. Like, we all got to get on one side because the Cory Bookers and the Donna Brazils and the yada yadas, the Camalas and the whoever, they are not on our team, man. And I just hope that Black parents, man, I don't have kids yet, but I'm already mad for them. I just hope that Black parents understand, like, you're going to have to educate your own. Like, that's one thing about the NOI. The NOI is going to educate their own in the ways that they want them educated so they can raise them up to be the way they want them to be. So hopefully we can adopt some of that.
No doubt. DC, appreciate that comment. Miss Giselle, so you got your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey guys. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm on my way home. Now, I was calling, I came up just because it was a couple of things that y'all mentioned. With, just to let you know, with the Jewish community, they have access to Homeland Security. Through that, I only know because I used to live in a Jewish community here in Baltimore. They called it, it's Park Heights area. And what they do, they actually put in for protection because they're a protected class here. They actually get access to money. So all of that fencing and stuff is really our tax dollars, just to let you know. here locally, and I only knew because I go to community association meetings, and they said right there in the meeting, the fencing around the school costs more than the money that they would even put in towards the air conditioning in the black schools, or the ones that the schools that's in our communities. But their school actually got a $90,000 fence, just a wire fence, like a metal fence going around their school. But the reason why they get these resources, people be thinking, well, the Jewish community rich. No, they got money because they got it from us in most ways, but they have access to homeland security money. So that's one thing you got to know when you see them getting resources, especially things to protect them. Those are things they just get grant money for by way of the country. Now, what I also wanted to say was for our people, you say how we got to be like this. The thing is, they know with our people, they've studied us long enough. Our people are attracted to shiny objects. So what they do, they know the effect of what happened to their people. Their people went through, this is the decade of low self-esteem in white folk. That's why they walking around committing suicide, ODing, drug enforcement, because they're looking at what their people did. So they have to reverse that low self-esteem. So, and they know they got to look at the next generations, while at the same time, reversing any positive stuff in our community. That's why they always elevate those in our community to be this that's the righteous, to be the shiny object. They know the type of effect that could be. And when we give too much pushback to that one shiny object, they'll elevate somebody who you would deem as a positive role model, and it's a whole coon. So you got to know that it's just like the puppet master. They know when to pull the strings and when to drop the strings. So that's really just what we're dealing with right now. And I land. That's all I came up for. And hey, fella.
No, appreciate that. Leon, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Sorry about that. I just wanted to piggyback real quick off of what I posted in Jumbotron. Now, that parliamentary assembly just happened over the 4th of July weekend. I just want to let y'all know that. So it's kind of weird how all the stuff that's been going on with these mass shootings and the whole thing with Jalen Walker and Carolyn Bryant, it seemed like this all just smashed right into coming into the 4th of July weekend. So I just wanted to just let everybody know. So this is not really old news. This is actually old news that I posted. This is actually from last weekend. Just want to let y'all know that.
No doubt. DJ, you want to go ahead? I know you had your hand up.
Yeah. No, I'm just piggybacking off of you guys. You know what I mean? We agree to agree, showing that method. Like I said again, the only other reason, Miss Giselle, the Jews get away with everything, they own everything. It ain't just the connections they got. Why are we allowed to send all our little tax bread paying dollars? And this is for poor white people too. If y'all down in the chat, y'all shouldn't be sending no money to Israel. You know what I'm saying? Or we shouldn't, rather. You know what I mean? This country's just pretty much going to hell because of Joe Biden. And now we got to do another year and a half, 2 years or whatever with this dude. This shit going to be fucking the shits, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have Trump back than dealing with this shit, bro. Yeah.
Don't forget, one reason too that they support Israel too, man, is to have them a base over there in the Middle East. Like, they may be allies with them and this and that, but the U.S. believes on having bases on every corner of this earth, and to ensure that oil and everything that's being produced over there, they're going to stay in the Middle East. So they have enemies that's over there, and they want to be able to keep an eye on everybody that's over there. So that's another reason why they have been so loyal, also to Israel. So you gotta look at it from that standpoint too. Military minds, they looking at protecting their interests and whatnot. So another reason why the Saudis or whatnot, they protect them and this and that, because they're getting all that oil. So the United States, they're smart. You have to give them that. They are smart. Devious, but they're smart. DC, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, man. So I think you're making a good point about what's going on as far as the support that they're giving Israel. What Ms. Giselle was saying, I think the point that I'm trying to make to the family is that there's certain things that you can do that don't require resources. So, you having a zero tolerance mentality about certain things, that requires discipline, not dollars. It doesn't take money for you to have discipline. It just takes you having discipline. So certain things that you can make happen, certain things that you can shut down if you organize, you can do those things with or without money. It just takes you coming together as a community. And we've shown that in random times. We definitely displayed that we can do that. So that's the point that I'm really getting at when I say adopting those strategies that don't take being white to be able to execute. But to talk about what you were saying about Israel, man, the way that the United States supports Israel is super duper duper strange. And I think it might even run a little bit deeper than just the strategic military position, because when people come to office, like there's a clip of Kamala Harris that everybody had put together kind of during the election time when she was talking about how she wasn't going to do nothing for black people, and then they would cut back and forth to her talking to the Jewish political action community, and she was like, I'm standing behind this amount of billion for the Dome of David defense system and this and that. And I thought, man, this country has an extremely strange level of blind loyalty to a group of people who really don't do shit for America at all. I mean, I understand being strategically positioned and everything, but Jews really don't do anything for the country. Like, they don't really do or contribute anything. So I'm wondering if the Jewish community knows something about America, if it goes back to ancient history, if it could be the fact that they have a stranglehold on the banking system, because when you look at all of the chairmen of the Fed, etc., they're all Jews. You telling me it's no Protestant white people or no black people or no Asians? There's nobody who's qualified to run the banking system except the Jews. So, maybe it's I don't know what it is, but I'm just speculating that something else beyond what we see on the surface is why they're so blindly loyal to Israel.
Well, not to get sidetracked, but I mean, like I say, I believe it's like you say. I believe it's a strategic position. I believe it's a strategic position, and it's also the amount of oil that's over there too that they want to go ahead and they want to control as much as possible. I mean, why else did they have the war with Iraq? It was all based on oil. It was all based on greed. But getting back to, like you were saying about the Jewish people, let's not forget too. Now the Jewish people, and I believe was it you or Leon that mentioned the Rothschilds? Like, you got to remember, like, Jewish people have been controlling the banks over there in Europe for how long? Like, I mean, that's how the Rothschilds made their money. It was basically waging bets on wars and stuff like that, and loaning money out to the thrones and whatnot in Europe. So they go back. You're talking about old school money, so they understand the banking system as well as anybody, better than most people in this world. So they contribute plenty. When you think about it, they contribute the damn banking system over here. They own the entertainment industry. So the financial and the entertainment, as well as the media structure, they control pretty much all of that. I mean, they pretty much have a say in what's going to be what. So on that aspect, like I say, that's one reason why, they kind of get treated different compared to, like, other minority groups. And also for the fact, like I say, I'm not one of those people. Like, to me, people can say that, they did say that, but to me, they're white still. Like, I don't care. And I know a lot of that might offend a lot of people. This and that. Oh, do you think Jews are like? Yeah, I think they're white. What else are they? They're not black. They're not Asian. Like, so what? There's three main races in this world. It's the Asians, it's the blacks, and it's the whites. So which group do they fall under? They fall under the white banner.
They're definitely white. The only people who think that they're not white are people who haven't dealt with them, on a daily or weekly basis. If you dealt with Jewish people in any sort of consistent basis, you'll realize that not only are they white, they actually can be more annoying than the typical white person, because they'll go into victim mode as soon as they need to, hide behind their Jewishness as soon as they need to, and then come right out of it to access their whiteness as soon as it, proves itself to be convenient.
Yeah, so like I said, I definitely, and they're protected class. They're protected class. LGBTQ is a protected class. White women are definitely the number one protected class in America. So what you say about them can get you can get you in trouble, and we know this. They're not going to allow you to say anything about them. So I mean, I do know this point. We're talking about like the Texas right now. We're talking about the Texas and the slavery and this and that. There's not. I don't care how redneck the area is. I don't care how good old boy the area is. It could be in Alabama, Mississippi. They are not going to allow anybody in the educational system to go in there and to just totally mess up the Holocaust and just call it something that it ain't. They're not going to sit up there and let you make a whole nother meaning for the Holocaust, and Jewish people just sit there and not do anything about it. First off, white people they're not going to do it because they're like, well, we don't want this kind of smoke, we don't want this kind of trouble. So for the simple fact that you can do that with slavery, but you couldn't do that with the Holocaust, unless you see exactly that we are at opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of treatment and in terms of our clout. I'm sure with 3-4 times the amount of Jewish people in this country, yet we don't have anywhere near that kind of power, that clout, that prestige. So that's just something for everybody to think on like that. Like I said, you're not going to sit up here in a book and tell a bunch of second graders, third graders, and try to minimize the impact of the Holocaust. In fact, most people in this country, Jewish, non-Jewish, white people, do not even want you comparing the Holocaust to anything else. When it comes to slavery, and you try to mention, that this was the Holocaust too. Oh well, slavery was bad and this and that, but you hear a whole bunch of buts and this and that. So we have to think about it from our own standpoint. And the people in Texas, they sit up there and they allow these people to come up with this garbage and the force feed their kids for that, and they don't put up any kind of fight. Then I don't know what to say to you. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and allow my kids to be told some garbage like this. How about this? This was involuntary. I mean, this. What the hell does a second grader even know what involuntary is for the first place? I mean, what are you talking about? Involuntary relocation. I mean, come on, man. The average second grader barely even know what the hell relocation means. Now you talking involuntary relocation. Just complete utter nonsense. Like I say, we as black people, we allow this stuff. I can't go along with that at all. So I don't know what anybody else in the actual room feels about that. Like I said, you guys are welcome to bring back up the Carolyn Bryant situation. You're welcome to bring back up the Brittney Griner situation. I mean, you're welcome to talk about any topic that we covered right now that you may want to. I'm not going to keep the space open too much longer. So anybody has something they would like to say or add to the conversation, please, by all means, go ahead and add anything or say anything that you like. I appreciate everybody that came into the space tonight as well, and those who just sat back and chilled, didn't want to speak. Those who did speak, definitely appreciate you guys coming into the space tonight. We will definitely have a space tomorrow. On what topic, I don't know. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I just wanted to definitely add this. I mean, if you want to talk about Holocaust in the U.S., like I said, we've definitely been through that. Like after the, the Civil War? A lot of people don't know this, but, obviously before it started the draft riots, I'm sure a lot of people know about that, how, a lot of northern whites, they started killing black people randomly when the Civil War was announced. And then after the Civil War was over, how the Union soldiers, they put thousands of black people in concentration camps in Mississippi. I don't know if people know about that. I mean, it just did all types of horrible things. That's why, like, if you're from the South, especially from Mississippi, a lot of the oranges and stuff that grow there, a lot of people won't even eat that stuff because they know how the ground was fertilized.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Like I say, my thing is this here is, like I say, don't sit up here and let people like just downplay your history and whatnot. And hopefully, like I say, I don't know the exact numbers of black people in Texas. I know in certain cities you may have a decent amount of them. I know that it's mainly white and Mexican, maybe even more Mexican now. But for those that's out there, do not sit up here and let these people sit up here and downplay your history and just treat you like you're nothing when they won't do that to anybody else's history in this world or in this country. They're not going to sit up here and just totally go ahead and crap on anybody else's history. They're not going to even sit up here and say that about the internment camps they had, the Japanese Americans in World War II. They're not going to sit up here and just make it seem like they was on some kind of vacation or they just was mosey along or whatever. They only do this with black people because they know that black people have been a whipping boy for the past 400-500 years. So, like I say, I'm totally putting this on the NAACP, the Urban League, the Black Citizens of Texas. If you sit up here and and the black educators as well, if you sit up here and you let these rednecks in Texas go ahead and pass this garbage here, that is totally 110% on you. And if we as black people need to mobilize and get down with this as well, we need to say something too, because I'm here in Florida. Don't bring that shit here. I mean, you're not going to be teaching my kids no garbage like that. You will have a problem here. You sitting up here talking about some kind of involuntary. We already had a thing talk about this, that they were movers and all kind of. I mean, just ridiculous stuff here. Let me give a shout out to my man DJ, who just supported us on Cash App. That's $ Cash App for anybody who'd like to support Newstoter. That's $ Cash App. I'm sorry, what am I talking about? That is $ Newstoter. $ Newstoter for anybody that'd like to make a contribution to the largest, biggest black news curation aggregator in Black America today. That is $ Newstoter. Once again, that is $ Newstoter. Any contribution you make will be greatly appreciated. Whether that's $1 or not, we will greatly appreciate it and put it to use. $ Newstoter. DC, go ahead. I'm gonna get back to you, Ray. DC, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, Toter, thank you, man. I'm with you 100% on what you're saying as far as us needing to stand up. And I think, here at the grassroots, man, like we're all connected at the hip, man. Like I know that there's issues right now between different sects on some petty stuff, and I ain't really gonna get into that. But at the end of the day, the majority of us, I feel like, are focused on the same goal. And I think that we have to start to make people like the NAACP pariahs, because the problem is that they're always allowed to come around and find a way to absorb the grassroots energy and then use it the same way that these black boule mammies are trying to use Brittney Griner. And so they end up using us for an opportunity. The perfect example is the Mason, Tennessee issue. That was 100% grassroots led. I know a lot of us contributed to that because we wanted to see Mason come up out of the situation that they were in. The mayor felt like a very genuine brother. He was just under a lot, trying to go through it. So we did what we do. We threw our support behind him, etc. But everything went off the rails when the NAACP showed up. When that bow tie wearing nigga showed up, that attorney, I knew everything was about to go left. And showing up, it went left. You gave it 2 weeks, and a lot of the people in Security Tribe, KD, etc., people upset because he basically took the credit and secured a lame victory that he knew would keep him in the good graces of white people. So what did he do? He sold out the black grassroots. And this is something that the NAACP has become famous for. This is something that all of our black elected officials have become famous for. Because when they come around, we don't hit them with bricks. And that's exactly what's supposed to happen. When they come around, they shouldn't feel safe amongst the black grassroots, online or offline. So like you said, Toter, they're letting us down again, but not really if you think about it, because their function is to do exactly what they're doing right now. I mean, this is what Malcolm X was talking about when he was talking about the NAACP back in the day. And he said, man, look, the NAACP was founded by 2 white men, Arthur Spingard. So when you wonder why they can't get nothing done, it's because those horses, the reins on those horses are being held by white people. That's why they can't run as fast as they're supposed to. So that's what we're looking at right now in this situation, where the NAACP is sitting back, watching it, not saying anything, because it's not big enough for them. They're not going to get enough attention, but that's okay. If they decide to not show up for these issues, then when we have the next protest, when we have the next Mason online, we got to drive them away, period. Because if we don't, man, we're going to keep going in this cycle over and over again.
No doubt. And I'm in agreement with you. Like I said, they've proven time and time again that you can't put any faith in the NAACP. Whenever a camera's around, then that's when they come. I have family members that tried to get in the NAACP back in the 1980s and never heard a damn phone call from them. Now, whenever they think it's something that's going to gain national attention, something that's going to put a spotlight on them, then they're all for it. But any other time, and like I say, to come in there and try to steal the shine and the hard work that Security Tribe put in, because I think that's when I first really started looking into the actual Twitter spaces when they had that going on. So, like, to actually try to steal the shine and this and that, man, that is just But that's part of course for them. That's something that they've always done. They've always been, like you say, of the boule. Whenever you have an organization that's supposed to be black owned or black managed, black led, but the top of the food chain is white people, then you pretty much know it's just a front. It's just a farce that they putting on. And that's what they've always been. They've always been just a front, man. Just a farce. Because when you have an organization that's supposed to represent black people, it needs to be black managed from top to bottom. And like Malcolm said, even after he told the little white girl, if you at that time he told her no, but if you want to contribute something financially or whatever, you want to actually spread the word around, that's cool. But in terms of talking about that, you're gonna have a position of high ranking, and you're going to be somebody that makes decisions and this and that. Like now, you're just asking for it. That's why we was able to see through the Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter got us because the actual title, the slogan was so great that Black lives do matter. But you understood that Black Lives Matter was pretty much put on. It was just a front. So like you couldn't put any clout into it. You couldn't, and you see everything, all of the money, where all of it disappeared to. You see that these people love to prop up dead black men, especially on the streets, who then got killed and this and that. Yeah, you want to move totally away from a traditional black type family. You don't believe black men should be the head of anything. You don't believe in black men, this and that. So yeah, it's a problem. It's a situation with that. Like, and you're being fronted by people that really want to undermine the race or whatever. So, yeah, I have an issue with that. Ray, I'm gonna get back to you, but since we got Moses in here, I'm gonna let Moses go next. Moses, go ahead, unmute your mic.
Newstoter, thank you for the space. It's good to be here. It's good to be on the space. What's going on with Carolyn, Bryant, Brittney, Griner, and just what's going on everywhere? Period, man. This is a real live, in your face. It's happening. You cannot bury it for too long. Pretty soon, the dust will clear, and things will reveal. Warrants will reveal, and action will be taken place. Look, the NAACP is on the stock exchange, right? It has an IPO, so it's supposed to be about black people's concern, all right? And the Black Caucus, we all know that's funded by not black. It's funded by Jewish and so on and such. I mean, come on. And another thing I just realized, had we had a news talk, the black grassroots that's heavy right now, had we had that in 2008, reparations, we would have had, black Americans would have had reparations, policies set in place for economic empowerment, community building and development. We would have had protection bills. We would have had all of that, because I see the movement that's going on is so powerful. And like the brother had mentioned, just the black grassroots together galvanizing for Mason, Tennessee, and we saw what that would have turned out until the NAACP pulled up. So we are the way. We are the way, and we are what's happening, and we are setting precedent. And had we had this in 2008, we would have G-checked Obama and get everything we needed out of him. We would have had a voting bloc that would vote based off policies instead of emotions. I mean, we are setting the wave right now, and I'm very, very glad to see this. And I know there's a few discrepancies, tensions here and there. I try to stay away from that. If I'm in a space and I know if I'm in a space and it's not building and there's riffraff, I quietly walk out. I walk into this space and I notice how articulate people are, and they're just building, and there's no setbacks. This is great. This is a good space. It's articulate. It's intelligent, and it's 100% foundational Black American business first, and that's what I'm all about. And I thank you, Newstoter, for the space.
No doubt, no doubt. I appreciate that. Ray, I'm going to get to you. I just want to say one thing. I had a brother, when you send out the DMs, everybody let him know that the space is about to begin. He had been in a few of my spaces, and he replied to me on the DM. He said, brother, I can't, I'm not going to be able to make you a space because I was in one of your spaces when the whole B1 thing was going off, and I heard you say something about, Black supremacy. I can't rock with that. He said, now, if you talk about Black empowerment, that's one thing. First off, I don't remember saying anything about Black supremacy. At the same time, I'm not going to apologize either. Like I told the brother I responded, all I said was cool. My thing is that I'm going to put my people's priorities first and foremost. I'm not going to take the backseat for anybody else. If I offended anybody or hurt anybody's feelings by saying that, I do apologize. But at the same time, my mindset is one mindset. I have a one-track mind, and that is for Black people, Black Americans, first and foremost. And any of my brothers that's out there in the diaspora that have a Black first mindset, we can do business with. I would not turn my back on you if you understand the actual the actual idea of B1. So first and foremost, I am a foundational Black American. I am a original Black citizen. So I descend from those people. I did not say anything, what I felt that was racist or anti-white or anything like that. And if anybody felt that, I do apologize. But at the same time, I am going to first and foremost put my people first and foremost, the same way white people put their people first and foremost, the same way Asians put their people first and foremost, the same way Latinos put their people first and foremost. And I'm not going to apologize to that. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep dumping content out every day to the point I'm going to put 15 to 20 articles out a day dealing with Black people and Black people's struggle. And that's just the way it is. So if anybody has a problem with that, like I say, just for future reference, I'm going to let you know when you step up in these spots, these spaces here, these spaces are dedicated to Black Americans, Black people here in America, and anybody that's globally that wants to come in. I don't have a problem with you. I know we have some of our brothers that do have an issue with it, this and that. I personally don't. It's like I say, as long as you're not somebody that's coming in here to cause confusion and chaos. I grew up around all kind of people, Black people, and growing up, most of the Black people I grew up with was cool. There were those who thought they were better than Black Americans, but most of the ones I grew up with, they had a Black first mindset. And as long as you have that Black first mindset, I'm cool with you. If you don't have that Black first mindset, whether you're a Black American or you're a foreign Black American, you can get away from me. That's just the way I see it. That's just the way I feel. Like I said, Newstoter is the largest curator of Black news, and we're going to keep curating Black news. We're going to keep putting it out here to the masses. We're not going to stop. And sometimes what I say may come off as insensitive. I don't mean it to be insensitive. I don't mean it to be cruel. I'm definitely not a Black supremacist or anything like that, but I am a Black person who loves Black people, and we're going to look out for Black people and keep trying to promote Black business, Black content, Black ideas, Black nationality, the entire package, and that's just the way it is. So, Ray, you go ahead and unmute your mic.
I'm pretty sure I was in that same space. I don't remember you ever saying anything about Black supremacy because
I don't remember it either,
because people conflate when you talk about, hey, I want to put Black people first with you being a Black supremacist. That's completely different. And besides, two supremes can't exist at the same time anyway. And that's just absolutely ridiculous. That's a complete contradiction. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. I got in here a little late, so I wanted to ask everybody, because like I said, I wasn't in here. Have they given a reason why they have, why they have not arrested Carolyn Bryant, considering she has an active warrant and has had it for 70 years?
They have not given a reason yet, and you got the district attorney. When I read it, Ray, you got a district attorney basically saying that that they got to review this and do that. Like, they trying to come up with a way to stall it and this and that because they don't really want to read it. I can read real quick. District Attorney Dwayne Richardson, whose office would prosecute a case, declined comment on the warrant and cited a previous Justice Department report that said no prosecution was possible. So he's going off of things in the past because he doesn't want to prosecute the woman because she's an old white lady. So that's basically what it is. Even though they found the warrant, because how things have always been, because they've let this old hag get away with this for so many years, they don't want to prosecute her. That's just what it all boils down to. You still there, Ray?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just wanted to touch on something else, too. I can't put all the blame on the NAACP as far as, what you were talking about earlier. It's on all of us. When some bullshit, like what they're trying to do in Texas, goes down, all of us need to be beating their drum. Dr. Claude Anderson basically said we're a powerless people. He said, the white community knows that they can get away with anything they do because the worst thing that we're going to do is probably protest, march, or, at worst, tear up our neighborhoods. But most of the neighborhoods we live in, the stores are heavily insured anyway, so they're just going to get their money back. And I just wanted to bring it up to the family. Like I said, I came in late, so I don't know if it was mentioned, but the officer that killed Tamir Rice was rehired in Pennsylvania. I mean, that's just obviously just blatant disrespect, but they know they can get away with it because there's not going to be any consequences.
Yeah, I saw that. Somebody had in one of the groups they had posted that, and I was like, oh boy, since the space has been on, I actually did see that, man. So definitely props to you for pointing that out because that just goes to show you how things are too, man. And they done went ahead and they done rehired this fool here.
That's on us though. We need to be beating the drum. We need to be outside the sheriff's office protesting, making the phone ring off the hook. Like, no, you will not rehire this person. They should not be welcome. They shouldn't feel welcome in anything they do. They shouldn't be able to feel comfortable going grocery shopping knowing that they killed this innocent boy. And two more things. I know this is kind of off topic, but I want to know if you touched on it. The fact that Nicki Minaj's husband, he got I guess he got sentenced today because he refused to register as a sex offender. I don't know if anybody's seen that. And this is crazy. I'm a 90s baby. I just wanted to mention this too. Did anyone see about Kel Mitchell's ex-wife claiming that she caught Nick Cannon in bed with was Nick Cannon in bed with Kel Mitchell in a cheerleading costume? Did anyone see that craziness?
I saw you posted that earlier. I didn't get a chance to click and read it, but I saw something they talking about.
Hey, say that again, right?
Yeah, who can make up? Bro, I couldn't make up some crap like that if I wanted to. Kel Mitchell's ex-wife claims that she once caught Nick Cannon dancing in the bed with Kel in her panties and a full cheerleading uniform.
Hey, man, that's Hollywood for you, man. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope I hope that didn't go down or whatever. I hope this lady just not sore mad about anything. But like DJ say, it's Hollywood, so whatever, man. Like that's
Hollywood
crazy.
Weird, more like it.
Oh yeah, that's what I say. It's Hollywood, so I don't think by now. I think we all pretty much grown. We pretty much nothing surprises us what we hear anymore. Like there's no more shock value to anything no more. Like you can hear anything. Like okay, yeah, oh, I figure that much and just keep going. But that's Ray. Did you have anything else to add on? Because I was gonna let Leon get on.
Nah, I'm landing my plane. I'm sorry, I forgot to cut my mic off.
Okay, no problem. Leon, go ahead and unmute your mic and then let DC go ahead.
All right, thanks again. You always be having some good spaces, man. Sometimes, man, it'd be too many other spaces going on, but I always try to find time for you, Toter. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Since we was doing the blame some of these old black organizations, I also want to blame another organization. I want to blame the Black Church. And I'm sorry if that might piss off a couple people, but we're going to be putting blame we got to put blame on some of these black churches and some of these black clergymen, like the Al Sharptons and the T.D. Jakes, because and the only reason why I said those two, because they more worried about we all trying to get along, and damn no well that's not happening. Just like I think on what the hell on Al Sharpton's page, he was like, "Well, I'm going to try to get Joe Biden to meet up with the black clergymen about something." I don't know if it's about the Emmett Till thing or happened with Jalen Walker or whatever. And I got on his face and I told him, I said, you damn know well, he ain't going Joe ain't gonna do shit. He's gonna shoo y'all away like he did the first time y'all went to meet him. He already said he ain't gonna do nothing for black people. So what the hell makes you think you're gonna walk up in there and gonna ask for him to do something that's gonna be different than the first time? It's not gonna happen. So that's why I said about they just need to that's just utter nonsense. So yes, I blame the black church as well. Further than that, we just need to stay vigilant, and I would definitely would love to see Carolyn Bryant go to jail. I don't give a shit if it's only she's only in jail for 8 hours and she winds up croaking within those 8 hours. That'd be fine. I would call that justice served. I was just on some majors a couple pages ago. They have the Ohio whatever Internal Affairs. They did appointed a detective that's supposed to be doing an investigation. He did not start the investigation. I don't know if anybody knew that or not. So we're going, and they were saying, and I was Sir Major actually was on the phone with the Internal Affairs because he actually played it through when he was talking. They were saying it'll be almost 8 to 12, 16 weeks before they even start looking into investigating Jalen Walker's death. So we're going to have to get on the horn on that and start beating the drum as well with this, because I could tell right off the bat they're going to prolong this, wait us out as much as they can. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And guess what? The police officers still didn't fill out a statement yet as of today. So I'll just land there.
Yeah, I'm there. Like it was taking a little minute to unmute the damn thing. You know how these Twitter spaces be. Goddess, I see you up in the spot. Go ahead and unmute your mic, and then I'll get to you, DC and Ray.
Hey, how y'all doing? Today was very productive. Of course, the police were swarming us everywhere. We went to 2 locations. The first location we went to, of course, we went to, it was Black Panthers was there. Let me just tell you that. They were there. Also, some people from Twitter were there. We showed up and we were there. We went to one first location. We served her with an eviction notice because we want her to get up out of here. We put it on her door in the first location. Then we went to the second location, which I know she's in that building because I talked to a black guy that lived. It's like like one of those homes, I guess, where a lot of old people live. It's
nursing home,
but it's not now like in a high rise like type assisted living like type of situation, building like type. So when I got out in the car, there was an older black guy out there, and I just asked him. I said, "Did Carolyn Bryant live here?" He said, "Yeah, Carolyn lives here." And I said, "The one that had Emmett Till murdered." He said, "Oh well, I don't know about her." But then try because he said, "I got to live here." So we went up to the door in the apartment or whatever, and the guy opens the door and says that she does not live there. But as I told you, the man downstairs told us that she was there. But anyway, we did get an answer there. We have a third location, so we are going to be going to that third location in Raleigh. We're not letting up. Tomorrow, the attorney that was here, I'm going to post the news that was there. We did have that. It's already posted out. I can put that out. But anyway,
go ahead and put it on the Jumbotron.
Okay, I'll do that. And also the attorney that was there, They were trying to make it seem like, the warrant is not going to be served or cannot be served, but that's why he was there, because he could show the legal side of it. But he will be going to into Greenwood, Mississippi on tomorrow to the DA's office. So he will be there tomorrow. So it's going to be a second part on tomorrow. But he's going there. I don't know who else is going to be in Mississippi on tomorrow. But that's how everything worked out today. It was very productive. A lot of people showed up. I was very happy to see the large presence of our people. They showed up. And everywhere we went, everybody rode in unison. We did not, and nobody was acting out, none of like that. Raleigh police was everywhere, but they didn't have anybody to take with them because we knew how to act. So they thought we didn't know how to act, but we did, and we did everything like we were supposed to. It was peaceful, but we did let her know that she needs to be served, and we did go to her door. So she is aware that we are here and we are looking for her ass.
I'm surprised she's not hiding out at one of her son's houses.
Well, that's what we were saying too, that she might have left out of her apartment and was with her son. But did y'all know that she had 4 children?
I think I heard something. I knew she had a couple kids, but I didn't know she had that many.
She had. I didn't either until today. She had those 2 boys, which you know about. But then after that, she had a daughter and another son. But if you Google her, you don't see those other children. You only see those 2 boys that's in that picture. So we don't even know their names.
Well, I give you your credit. You putting in work. This is what they call boots on the ground right here. So y'all really are putting in that work. Definitely keep that pressure on. Y'all be safe out here too, man. Because you talk about North Carolina and you're in the South here, so it's a bunch of peckerwoods down here. So y'all definitely. I hope y'all got enough brothers out there with y'all as well, too.
Trust me, the Black Panthers, they came out there and, honey, trust me, the Israelites were out there too. The Israelites, they drove from Georgia. They were here. People from Virginia drove. It was people from everywhere. People from California. It was amazing. I'm telling you, our black people, we out here in these streets. It's grassroots. The things that they're doing is not anything to do with the government. They're not accepting their money. All the money that they get, it comes from the grassroots, and that's it. They're not accepting their money because once you do that, then they'll be in your business.
Got it. Hey, with that being said, guys, how you doing tonight by the way, too, man? Appreciate you for all that you do. So with that being said, who found this warrant, yo? Like, how did magic charm luckily appear? You know what I mean?
It was a black dude. I think it was a black dude that found it, I think.
It was a young black dude. He was down in the basement. I don't know. I can't remember what he was doing, but anyway, I think he said it was a box or something. It was deep in the box or something. And he found it. And then when he found it, I don't know if he took it to somewhere to get it verified, but it has been verified that it's real.
So, Goddess, in your opinion, what do you think? First off, what do you think is going to come of all of this, and how long do you think it would take for them to actually charge her with the crime, just in your personal opinion?
Well, my personal opinion, after being and seeing what I saw today and the legal side of it, the warrant was never served. And so it is not they were saying something about a stale warrant. The warrant can be served because it was never served on her. So as far as, yes, I mean, she can be prosecuted. As far as her age has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, because like we was talking about earlier, they find Nazis 100 and some years old that was over there with the Holocaust, and they throw their ass right up in there. They don't care what kind of ailments they have, how old they are, whatever. They find out that you had something to do with that Holocaust, they will find you. I don't give a damn if you was 15, 16 at the time.
That man was 102 years old, and they took his ass right to jail. 102.
And I've seen where they had some that was teenagers back in the day working with the Nazis and still arrested them. So, yeah, if they want you bad enough, they will come and get you. So, I don't care. She done been out free for a long time. She done had lived her life. She lived a life more so than this boy ever got a chance to live. So, yeah, it's time to go ahead and put her in the right place, in her right position. I'm glad that you came through and just shared this information with us too, because I was kind of wondering what happened. I know earlier I had DM'd you, but I was definitely glad to hear about this, and I'm definitely glad that y'all keeping the pressure on that. That's one thing right now, is that the grassroots are putting on enormous pressure. You saw that last week with the dude up here talking about Clarence Thomas should hang. Then you see it with with Jalen Walker, and now you're seeing it with this, like, nationally, like this whole Emmett Till thing that gripped a lot of black people nationally here too. So yeah, and once you put that pressure on there, and you make these people have to show you exactly. They have to be transparent and show you exactly what they're doing with the level of the law. Everything changes then. So definitely keep that pressure on us, and definitely hold spaces and let us know exactly what's going on, what's happening. Keep us in the loop as much as possible, because this is something that's definitely like I said, done grip Black America at this point right now. I posted a couple articles. It's actually
going to be televised, because the guy that is actually the activist, he had me called somebody that reached out to him, which is a filmmaker. He actually made the movie back Emmett in 2015. So what he is going to be doing on the footage from today, and everything going up to serving her that warrant, he's going to be following us through that, and it's been shopped to, like, all the different networks and all that, as far as like HBO and all those, Netflix, all those different things. But I was trying to tell people, as far as that's what it is, as far as like, the light is already going to be out there, and it's going to be out there big, because it's going to be in a documentary.
And can you let us know who's doing the documentary, please?
Hold on. It's the guy. I have to look him up. He did the documentary for him back in 2015 on Emmett. He's the one that is doing it. Hold on, let me look at my see.
I see we got a number of people in the Twitter space that's not following Newstoter. Please go ahead and follow the host and the co-host. Please go ahead if you want to stay up to date with information, breaking Black news information all throughout the country. Then go ahead and please go ahead and follow us on Twitter here. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Newstoter. Also follow Goddess, and she can go ahead and she can inform you exactly what's going on with this whole situation here with Carolyn and Bryant. So if you're not following Goddess, then you may want to go ahead and follow her as well too. So go ahead and follow Newstoter, follow Kit the production, follow Ray Smith, follow Goddess, follow a bunch of people. Everybody in here, matter of fact, should follow each other just to stay up to date with information, because you got all kind of great information. Black majority state, you got so many Moses. You got so many people that's got great information and stuff like that. And Newstoter is the largest curator of Black news today in America. You can also support us on Cash App, $Newstoter. You can support us. We have our Venmo and our PayPal and all of that up in the Jumbotron too. If you'd like to make a contribution to the new Black media and the largest curator of Black news today in America, bar none, that is Newstoter.com. Make sure you visit Newstoter.com every day, daily. Like I said, you can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter. Goddess, you said that the gentleman he put out the 2015 movie about Emmett Till.
A documentary on Emmett in 2015. But the guy that I spoke to, he only gave me his first name, which is Luke, because he is working also with the activist I was with today.
What's his first name, Goddess?
Luke. Whose first name? The filmmaker?
Yes.
Luke. So, but Luke is working with the guy, the filmmaker that made the documentary in 2015. So both of them are filmmakers, and they're both doing it together. He will be here next week.
That's definitely good news, and like I say, definitely glad to be finding out. Like, definitely keep us updated on this. We definitely want to stay updated on this. Ray, I believe it's your go.
I just wanted to add this in for God. I just want to say thank you for all the good work you're putting in, sister. It is definitely very much appreciated. I just wanted to say, man, think about this. It should be this government should be ashamed. This woman has an active warrant, and it takes people coming from California and all these other different places just to get justice served. That should just tell y'all, how far they're willing to go to protect this woman. After all these, it's almost like she's a symbol for damn white supremacy to protect her after all these decades, and she has an active warrant. Now, let that had been me, and I had an active warrant for 7 years, they would have found me that night, and that my ass would have been sitting in jail. But they still protecting her old ass after 70, 80 doggone years. You actually took my talking point. I was going to mention about that damn 101, 102-year-old Nazi. They gave his ass 5 years in jail. So when it comes to, crimes on other white people, they don't they gonna get you. They don't care how old you are. He's more likely gonna die in jail, and they don't even care. But like I said, they definitely are committed to protecting Carolyn Bryant. And you mentioned this earlier about Jalen Walker. I'm going to be honest with you. I really believe they're going to try to sweep this under the rug. The reason being, they're going to say that if you watch the video, that brother fired one shot at the police before the chase started. And when the chase was ending, they, fired, not fired, but they pointed the guns at him. And he hopped out the car and ran. He had a black ski mask on. So, you already know what they're going to say. Well, how are we supposed to know he was black? This wasn't racist. I mean, how are we supposed to know, et cetera, et cetera? So we just need to go ahead and get ready for okie doke on that one. And the last thing I wanted to tell you guys about, or suggest, Toter. I don't know if you saw what Macy Gray said. That would be a great Twitter space if you want to touch on that topic.
Oh yeah, I saw. I caught what she said about the transgenders not being women. Like, she wasn't lying. Like, I mean, not to be offensive or trying anybody, but come on, man, let's just call it what it is. Like, listen, I'm a black man. I can't wake up tomorrow and say that I'm a Chinese and people just, okay, you're Chinese. I mean, it kind of don't work that way, but hey, what do I know? What do I know?
Something else we need to watch out for, and I'm glad, since we want to talk, I wanted to bring it up. You actually have adults that are identifying as trans children. And I hate, because like I said, we were talking to T.S. Giselle. I wanted to bring that shit up, and I actually forgot about it. But what reason would an adult want to identify as a child for if they weren't going to do some devious shit with a child? I mean, this shit is just getting disgusting at this point. And it's going to be up to us. They can call us homophobic or whatever, but if you're an adult and you're trying to mess with a child, it's got to be a line somewhere. And they're not gonna say anything, but we have to, as the adults, we gotta know that's wrong. You're not gonna mess with no child. I don't care if you identify as a child. You're 34 years old. You're not gonna mess with my child.
Yeah, I didn't even know nothing like that was taking place. You got people talking about this stuff, just every day you just hear some crazy stuff here that people talk about. They identify this and they identify that, but like I said, the each is his own. But when you start talking about, you a damn 30-some-year-old, almost a 40-year-old man, you talk about you identify as a child, man. You get out of here with this.
Yeah, because the reasoning I guess they're trying to say behind it is, I didn't find out until I was 30 or 40 was trans, so my childhood was robbed. So in a way, they're trying to get the childhood back by identifying as a, I guess, trans child. I don't know. But I just want to let the family know, watch out for that. We can't let these folks shame us. Call me whatever the fuck you want to call me. You are not, as a grown ass man. I got a 13-year-old daughter today. You are not going to be messing with my baby. That is not happening as long as I'm alive.
And shit, I don't blame you. That's your job as a father, no doubt about that. Like, please. Like I say, we're not even, this stuff here, like, that's why we have to stay on code, stay on track, because this stuff here, I'm not even entertaining, I'm not even trying to hear. I don't even get in discussions with people with this thing unless we having a discussion about it, because it's just too crazy to me. It just doesn't make any sense. DC, I see you got your hand up. Go ahead, unmute your mic.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the family. I just want to shout out FBA Goddess too, man, because you down there doing the work. You got boots on the ground, and I respect everybody who comes to these spaces. But, the work offline is just as important. So for you to be there, I'm with y'all in spirit. If there's anything we can do to help support y'all, personally, I don't mind sending some of y'all way. Make sure y'all got something to eat, whatever. Because the work that you're doing is so important. And Ray, like what you're saying is so real about where the country is going when it comes to not protecting our children and all of this transhumanism and transgenderism and transageism and race. All what we looking at right now is Babylon. United States is modern day Babylon, and this is what it looks like when a powerful civilization starts to unwind. You start to see more and more decadence, and you start to see things that just make less and less sense until eventually everything crumbles. So that's where we're headed now. And look, to be quite honest, if you look at the videos of Joe Biden around children that are on YouTube, that man has a very strange relationship with children. There's no way in hell that he would have ever put one fingernail on one of my kids, because the way that he would grab children and smell them and get close to them, and you could look at the kids and see they were clearly uncomfortable, and the parents almost kind of sacrificed the kids. Like, I see what's going on, but I don't want to intervene because that's the vice president, whatever the case is. Don't take my word for it, man. All you got to do is go on YouTube, watch the videos of Joe Biden with kids, and let me know if you felt comfortable putting your kid in the spot that kid was in. So, that's where we're headed. When the people at the very top are pedophiles, we won't even get started on Jeffrey Epstein and how they didn't even want to get into that black book because there were so many powerful people that were visiting those islands.
That's why they had him knocked off. Not to cut you off, but that's why he got knocked off.
100%. That's exactly why. And a friend of mine brought up the fact that there was a movie, like his plane was called the Lolita Express, and it was based off of a movie where there was like this super young girl who was in love with this older dude. So a lot of times they put the signs right in front of you, and switching subjects to this Carolyn Bryant thing, this is a very significant case because white society is going to have to make a call on this one. If they allow us to be able to put her in shackles and put her in jail for what she did all these decades ago, then that sets precedent for what we about to do to everybody else. So this right here is very significant because if they let this one slide, it sets the precedent that, hey, we getting ready to go after everybody. And think about it, the most protected person in white society is the white woman. So not only will they have allowed us to come and get one of their patron saints, but they allowed us to come get her in her old age and throw her in a cage. So if we're allowed to get away with that, that's going to set a bad precedent for them. So we absolutely need to keep the pressure on because we need that to happen. And like my brother said, FBA got us. Y'all stay safe out there. I hope them boys got them power tools on them because, you in open carries areas and all of that. And, my thoughts and prayers are with y'all.
No doubt. The only case I can think that might be comparable to this, and it's not even comparable, would be the trial of Byron Delabec, with the one who killed Medgar Evers, and he got off. I think he got off twice on hung juries, and they brought him back to trial back in the 90s. But at least in that case, he was arrested and he was taken to trial, because everybody in the world knew he murdered Medgar Evers. But at least he did. At least he was arrested and whatnot. This would be a whole new precedent, like you said, DC, for the fact that this woman was never arrested. She was never tried, anything like that. So to come at 60 some odd years, almost 70 years later, and to arrest her, that would be something that would just be a game changer, to say the least. That would be something that we've never seen before. And to be a white woman at that too, to be arrested, yeah, that would just totally blow everything out the water if this was to happen here. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic.
No, I definitely agree with you guys are saying, because they got a choice. Are you going to produce justice? I mean, y'all say how this, society's so just and everything else, but you got a person with an active warrant sitting their ass out here free as a bird, and y'all ain't doing nothing about it. So everything that brother said, I just wanted to tag team on that, is 100% true. What are they going to do? The ball is in your court, so tell me what y'all going to do.
No doubt, no doubt. DJ, I know you got your hand up. Go ahead and speak.
Yeah, just to piggyback it off of what everybody's saying, because we're saying so much stuff. I'm missing all my talking points because y'all taking them on. But I'll say this, just from a visualistic perspective of what we're talking about, and when it comes to law of the land or maritime law, whatever how you want to look at it, go watch that Netflix show, The Last Kingdom. The Last Kingdom, and I noticed just a lot of stuff in there. They doing the same thing. So we need to be the main character, Uhtred, who had his land taken by these other Vikings. You feel what I'm saying? And he fought his whole life to get his land back. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just leave it there. But it's very similar to how things are being played out nowadays. And just to speak to the chat, you know what I mean? The old girl, Carolyn Bryant, you a POS, and you definitely need to be arrested. You know what I mean? Charged, fingerprinted, photographed, all that stuff. Brought up in court. We taking it to trial. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to hear no cop out. We want the whole shebang, yo. And Brittney Griner, hey, man, you free to homie. That's all I can say on that. And the Texas slave education thing with the CRT, ask y'all white friends or white folks that you know that try to play or act like they don't know about any of this stuff. Honestly, a lot of times they don't. Because ask them what history reports you did in school other than Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Malcolm X. You feel what I'm saying? That's maybe. You know what I'm saying? But think about that. Ask them, which I learned in school during Black History Month. They don't know nothing, man. So what the brother said about the McGraw-Hill and the other textbook company that's been writing our educational books for years, we just need to. This is why everybody's saying, even white folks are like, just homeschool your kids, man, because they ain't learning nothing. You know what I'm saying? So anything that's in book form, you got to make sure you get a copy of that right now, because to start archiving books, yo, on Black history, yo, real talk. Rather you could get it on some type of DVD, CD. That's what I do, but start getting them books, man, because that's the real tangible evidence out here.
No doubt, no doubt. And I'm with you in agreement on every point that you shared right there. Definitely, like I say, with Carolyn Bryant, she ain't too old. Go ahead and lock her up. Brittney, do what we can to try to get this sister back over here. The entire curriculum that these peckernecks in Texas are talking about, even trying to create, you can tell them to go ahead and shove it, because this is going to be detrimental to not only Black kids, but it's going to be detrimental to all kids in this country, because now you are just totally changing the face of history to suit your own needs or whatever. Before, you were proud about everything you did concerning Black people. You were so proud. You boasted about it, this and that. Now you're trying to go ahead and hide. And no, you got to go ahead and stick to your guns that you've been sticking to this whole time. So I'm definitely not trying to hear that. So on that note, I'm going to let anybody that wants to speak come up and speak. Anybody that wants to speak, go ahead and hold your hand up and speak, and we will go ahead and let you speak, because we're going to be closing the space out here in a second. And once again, you guys, please be sure to support Newstoter on Cash App. That's $Newstoter. That is $Newstoter. Anybody that would like to add a word in before we get ready to close the spot out, please, you're more than welcome to come up here.
Just real quick, just to reiterate back to the Jews too. You know what I mean? Like I said, the reason why they able to whine and complain about stuff when somebody say something about them, because again, they own everything. And back to I think the brother DC said it. Was talking about the banking system. So y'all need to study how the banking system became here in America, and they'll tell you a lot about who run what. Study IRS, IMF. IMF is International Monetary Fund. For those that don't know, is the equivalent big parent company to the IRS. Remember, America is a corporation, not a country. You know what I mean? I'll yield there for a minute.
No doubt. So DJ, I'm gonna go ahead and, since nobody's trying to get one last word in, like I say, make sure you guys are all following the host and the co-host on Twitter here. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also support us through Cash App if you're able to. If you got $1 and you say, well, hey, I got $1 this month, I'll go ahead and I'll put it to good use. You can put it to Newstoter. We will put it to use. We will use it for web hosting. We will use it for email hosting. We'll use it to help curate news. So if you have at least $8 that you would like to contribute to a Black-owned business that calls out white supremacy daily, then Newstoter would definitely be your choice. We are the largest curator of Black news today in America. This is not an opinion. This is an absolute fact. The largest curator of Black-owned news Black platform in America today. So by donating us, you are supporting Black-owned business. You're not only supporting one Black-owned business, you're supporting dozens of Black-owned businesses because we curate news from dozens of Black-owned sources. So when you support Newstoter, you are supporting other Black-owned businesses as well. And DJ, I'm going to go ahead and let you get the final word before I go ahead and I close it out.
Yeah, I think we done said it all. It's on tape, running back. I guess come on over to the late night space. We about to get this music session popping. I got some shit to say. Man. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, everybody in the space. If y'all got time, check my man. I have to get up early, so check my man's his space out. It be lit, and they go for a long time. We generally over here go for a couple hours, 2, maybe 3 hours, but they go to the early morning. So make sure you check out Kit the Productions DJ. I know Black Majority State be up in there, so you guys all go there and support the space. And thank you once again for coming out supporting this space and supporting the largest Black-owned news curator. I hope tonight's space we delved into a couple points that everybody could relate to. We definitely want to see justice for Carolyn Bryant happen to her. We definitely want to see the sister Brittney come back home and be with her family and loved ones. And we definitely want the state of Texas to go shove it up their ass with that redneck, racist, peckerwood, hillbilly, degenerate garbage that they trying to push along everybody else. So on that note, I appreciate you guys coming to this space. Tomorrow we will have a space. I don't know what. I'm going to check the platform and see what might make a good conversation.
Black business.
We're gonna get to the Black business. We gotta check our people up, but we're gonna do the Black business. We're gonna set that up perfect so everybody can get a chance. So we're gonna still do that. We're gonna definitely do that. Ray, I still haven't had a chance to speak to the people from the Nation of Islam, so I'm gonna try to reach out to the dude. I've been so busy, so I'm gonna try to reach out to him in the next day or two and try to set something up so we can have a space on Black empowerment and whatnot. So we definitely gonna be coming with ideas. And if you guys have any ideas that you think might make a good Twitter space, then be sure to DM me or DJ, and we will go ahead and we'll definitely go ahead and try to see about trying to make that a Twitter space as well. So we would definitely do that. DJ, you got a question?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say we need to do that Black employment space, bro. Like really bad, bro, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I just feel like our people don't understand. But hey, come over to the Kite Production, just the studio. We'll be talking about that around close to midnight, y'all.
No doubt. And I want to thank everybody for coming out to the space once again and support Newstoter. Make sure you guys visit Newstoter daily. Everybody that's in the space that's a follower, visit it at least once a day. Visit once a day. If you guys have not signed up for the newsletter, go ahead and sign up for the newsletter. Help us grow. Help us reach maximum capacity. Help the new Black media get a longer reach with Black America. And once again, I appreciate everybody who came to the space, whether you talked, whether you just sat and listened, whether you tweeted out the link. Just the fact that you was here, that made my day. So everybody have a good night, and we will see